If you've ever gone to sleep during a rain delay and woken up to a big fat W, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. It's Wednesday morning here, and boy, oh boy, there is some news shaking the markets. We had a tech-led sell-off, then we got the Moderna news this morning. That is up over 100%. We had an NBIS offering. We've got a lot of stuff going on here today. Oh, yeah, by the way, we get Fed meeting minutes today. We also have Tim Melvin coming on here today. So we got a loaded day for you here. Should be a fun one. It is the middle of the week. Let's get it done and make some money here. Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook, the Wednesday edition for August 19th, 2026, begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, everybody. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. I know if there's anyone here that is holding Moderna, you are having a wonderful morning here today, and you just love to see it. We'll start Wednesday off with a register ring. May there be more register rings in our future. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. Solitary Soldier is going to be first here today. Good morning, everybody, indeed, and good morning to you. It's great to see you. Helene, good morning. Welcome back. It's great to see you. Derek, good morning. Welcome back. Hitting that like button will help everyone be green today. Derek, preach, brother. Reach. Let's go. Hit that green, hit that like button for some green luck here today. Alan, good morning. It's great to see you again. Alan, another register ring here. This is a good start to Wednesday already. We're not even through the intros and we're already ringing the register here. Alan, good morning, everybody. Congrats to anyone who followed the Estee Lauder thesis that was given out yesterday. Estee Lauder higher here in the pre-market on the back of its earnings. EKS, good morning. Welcome back. EKS, really quickly, did you enjoy the webinar with Tim on the 13 Fs yesterday? And is there something you'd like to see us do in the future on that webinar? Let me know if you have any feedback on that. Thanks for joining us yesterday. EKS also mentioning here, Moderna and Merck both arise after the late-stage trial win for the mRNA cancer therapy. Merck, I think, up like almost 8%, maybe a little bit more now. But we'll see. It's been a lively morning already. Yes, that girl. Good morning. Welcome back. Crispy Biscuit. Good morning. Welcome back. Ed says, we started early today. What's the 8-ball thing? So I actually have not consulted the 8-ball. I was in a very, let's call it good or silly mood yesterday. And I realized I wasn't going to use up all of my Grok credits for this week. So I made something a little fun. We'll see if it's fun. Some of you might hate it. Some of you might think it's hilarious. We will see if that can give us some better predictions than the 8-ball. We'll debut that a little bit later. Sit tight, Ed. It should be fun. Corey, good morning. Welcome back. Peter, good morning and welcome back. Patchi, good afternoon to you and good morning to the Benzi gang. Zach McCracken, good morning. We will talk about Moderna, I'm sure. Lay, good morning. Jay Wild, good morning. Francis, good morning. Whis, good morning. Great to see you. Whis, tell you what, how do you feel about your Braves? I feel better and better about my Cubs here. Braves and Cubs, two of the best teams in all of baseball. Maybe they meet in the playoffs. Should be fun, brother. Good to see you this morning. Robert, good morning. Welcome back. Producer, locked in and ready to go. Couldn't do this without you, boss. Appreciate you. Brett, good morning. Welcome back. Bernhard, good morning. Welcome back. Durkis, good morning. Welcome back. Brett, good morning. Welcome back. Brett says coffee time in the Rockies. Brett, I have a picturesque view of what your morning looks like. I got you sitting out with your cup of coffee overlooking the mountain ranges, and boy, oh boy, does that sound good. Hopefully you have yourself a great day here. Alvin, good morning. Welcome back. Tyler, good morning. Welcome back. G-Cord, good morning. Welcome back. Castle, just passing through, and Maverick, our Twitter contingent that's here every day. We appreciate you. Hopefully you had a great night and great morning. Triniarch, good morning from Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome back. It is great to have you here. Hopefully all is well in your corner of the world. HP Darkside Hemi, good morning. Acorns, good morning. Official Sterling Archer, good morning. Good morning from SoCal. You're up early. Respect. Respect to all the Pacific time zone folks that are up in the pre-market. Y'all care. For real, and it is awesome. Robot to Trade, good morning. Harlugo, good morning. Welcome back. My plan says wait for the 15-minute range. My finger says otherwise. Talk me down. Plan the trade the plan. If you have a plan, go ahead and do it. I will say all of the strategies that my bot tries to trade, all of them have a wait. The zero DTE has a 5-minute wait right from the opening print there. Sorry. Creation, good morning. Welcome back. Acorn says, well, ring that register by faith or for a super green day. We'll do both. Harlugo says, Ryan the dice. Harlugo, are you foreshadowing there? What do you mean? Tell me what you mean. The Martino, good morning. Welcome back. Wiss says, the Braves are going downhill. Our GM fumbled at the trade deadline. We got over a month left. The Braves are a really good team. Let's see. Nikhil, good morning. Up 30, good morning. Rooster, good morning. Wasabi Doobie, good morning. I love that. I love that handle. That one's really good. Lion Atlas, good morning. Lion, you might be happy too. I was actually thinking about you off and on when I was creating this little fun side project last night. So we'll take a look here. We'll see if you approve. I have a sneaking suspicion that you're going to hate it, but we'll see. Rocky, good morning. Welcome back. Gerald, good morning from Ecuador. Man, we are worldwide. I absolutely love it. Good stuff. Lion says he needs to talk to my bot. Lion, shoot me an email. I've literally been trying to email you for like a year and a half, and you just won't give me your email. So we can arrange this. You just need to take that first step, buddy. Harlugo says your secret new app. Secret new app. You got it, Harlugo. You were on happy hour yesterday. Jimmy, good morning. Welcome back. Or Jin Me. I actually think that might be Linda. Jin Me. We'll go with what the noob says there. With what the handle says there. Rocky says, can you show us or access the agents? I don't think I know what you're talking about. Are you talking about Grok's agents and doing all of that? Grok's actually on my MacBook. It's on a different computer than I run it here. I don't have the capability to show terminal at the moment. Kelly, good morning. John, good morning. Matthew, good morning. It is. Okay, I was right, Linda. It is. Okay, cool. So we got a new name there. We figured it out. Bob, good morning. Welcome back. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started with our stock market today. All right, we got a little bit of a mixed bag here ahead of Wednesday's open, although the NASDAQ, which is in the red here, on the verge of going red to green. So we'll see how this shakes out prior to the open. S&P futures near unchanged, up 0.06%. The Dow futures up 0.1%, and the NASDAQ down 0.1%. But again, that is coming up off the lows. In fact, all of these indices are off of their overnight lows. So we'll see if we get any type of bounce back rally here today. One more quick peek. Oil is up 0.7% plus 0.70 here today. Now, let's take a look at some cues from last session as well as what we have going on today. We've got several stocks in focus for you here today. Tech, industrials, and materials led S&P 500 losses on Thursday, though energy and healthcare bucked the trend to close higher. Broader U.S. stocks settled lower as the NASDAQ dropped over 350 points, fueled by persistent inflation worries, rising crude oil, and the high treasury yields. U.S. stock futures were higher on Wednesday as the S&P 500, NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ rose following Tuesday's lower close. Dow futures were slightly lower but have since moved into positive territory. Investors are awaiting some direction on the Federal Reserve's trajectory following its suspension of guidance, as the minutes for the Fed's July FOMC meeting will be published today. Asian markets plunged on Wednesday as South Korea's Kospi tumbled over 5%, and the semiconductor giant SK Hynix and Samsung Electronics suffered steep losses, triggering a sell-side sidecar in Seoul. The regional sell-off came amid escalating U.S.-Iran tensions that pushed Brent crude above 91 in a barrel after President Trump ruled out talks with Tehran. Quote, there are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. End quote. Trump said that in a Truth Social post. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.68%, and the 2-year bond was at 4.15%. The CME Group's FedWatch tool projections show that the markets are pricing a 32.8% likelihood that the Federal Reserve hikes the current interest rates during its September meeting. Now, we've got several stocks in focus here for you today. The first one is going to be an earnings print. It's going to be Keysight Technology. The ticker is Keys, Keys. It rose 3.06% in the pre-market after reporting better than expected third quarter financial results and issuing strong fourth quarter guidance last night. Keysight Q3 adjusted EPS of 307 beat the 248 estimate, and sales came in at 1.84 billion, which beat the 1.73 billion estimate. The second stock on our list is going to be Mercury Systems. The ticker is MRCY, and it dropped 10.76% after reporting mixed fourth quarter earnings and financial results. Its quarterly earnings of 37 cents per share missed the analyst consensus estimate of 38 cents per share. The next stock on our list is going to be SK Hynix. The ticker is SKHY, and it jumped 5.76% despite a 9.75% drop in South Korean listed shares after it announced plans to buy back $29 billion worth of treasury shares. The next stock on our list is going to be Shell PLC. The ticker is SHEL, I beg your pardon. It was 0.74% higher as it strengthened a 20-year partnership with Hyundai Motors and renewed a global cooperation agreement. The last stock on our list is going to be Target. The ticker is TGT, and it was 0.41% lower as it is supposed to report earnings before the opening bell. Analysts expected earnings of $2.32 per share on revenue of $26.13 billion. Now, as of now, these earnings are out. Target's Q2 adjusted EPS of $2.46 did beat that $2.33 estimate, and sales of $26.54 billion beat the estimate of $26.14 billion. All right, now we take a look at the SPY chart, and here's the thing. This might be important. We'll see how today ends up shaking out here. Yesterday, technically, I have a close beneath the low of this candle. Okay, now we are splitting hairs here with this. The low of this was 767.46, and the closing price that I have for SPY yesterday was 767.45. So literally 1 penny. Now, we talk with Mark Petrino every week, and he's constantly saying how he finds it very strange, except not really, or he finds it more amazing, I think, than anything else, that the market seems to come into these levels so well. And that's exactly what's going on here. Now, the way I look at this is we are still sideways right now. But if we really have some weakness today and we crack this and close beneath this, then we actually have broken this. To me, where we closed yesterday, despite it being a penny under the actual value itself, we are testing it. We are basically right there. I don't want to change my opinion based on 1 cent off a ETF that's $767 plus. So to me, we're testing it. We'll see if we're able to hold that here today. If we do not hold it, if we break and move down, we are very clearly looking at the previous breakout level of 760.28. As we suspected, the 20-day moving average is coming up to support this price if it does move down. And that value, 759.71, basically 50 cents away from the breakout level. So this entire area should provide support if we do come in. Furthermore, we have the 50-day down there at 750. We talked on Happy Hour yesterday about the 50-day moving average kind of being a key level. I know there's a lot of talk about SPY making a significant pullback. The 50-day would definitely come into play if we end up doing that. So just one thing to think about there. As far as the upside levels here, we're going to look at the all-time high. All-time high, I believe, was put in on Thursday, August 13th. That value is 779.37. Yeah, the very next day was just slightly lower than that. So 779.37, let's call it 780. I don't know that we're going to go up there today. That's 13 points away on the SPY. And without some type of major catalyst, I'm not sure that's in play here today. But otherwise, this is kind of what we're looking at on the SPY. We should also take a very quick look at the Qs. You guys have been talking about that quite a bit. We've also been trading a lot of the technology stocks. And with the Kospi getting shelled last night, it'll be very interesting to watch the Qs here today. They are doing their best to stay above this 50 here. Also kind of looks sideways, very much like the SPY. We're still beneath that breakout level that we're trying to actually break out from, or we were trying to break out from. So key levels here today, very simple. 713 on the Qs is going to be key. That is your 50-day moving average. We closed beneath that. It's not far to the 20-day moving average, and it's probably has a little bit more distance down towards that round 700 number. So this is kind of where we're sitting here today. Now, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. And let's see what they got for us here today. We're going to be hearing from Professor Jeremy Siegel this time. Professor Jeremy Siegel remains highly optimistic about the U.S. stock market, primarily driven by a robust corporate performance that offsets softer economic data. He notes that despite a surprisingly weak retail sales report, bringing third quarter GDP estimates down to a, quote, healthy but not booming, end quote, 2% range, the market continues to impress and hit record highs. The bedrock of this market strength is corporate profits. Siegel highlighted that we are witnessing double-digit earnings growth, stating, quote, this earnings season could rank among the most impressive in recent history, end quote. Now, a couple of comments there. Let's play this right down the middle. First of all, I've been telling you since earnings season started that earnings season is really, really good this year. And in fact, I think when we first reported it, there was like earnings growth was like 40%, something astronomical. Now, on the flip side, that's true, and all of that's true. But on the flip side of this, there are tariff refunds going on right now, and those tariff refunds are being reflected in the EPS number. So some of this earnings and earnings growth could be, or is at least some degree, impacted by the tariff reliefs. Now, what's interesting is that Target this morning reported their earnings. They mentioned that even if you backed out the tariff refunds, they still would have beat. So I think there's still kind of a figuring out process here about how good the earnings actually are. And even when you strip back some of the tariff noise, they're still pretty darn good. Now, Target's trading down here today a little bit, or it was earlier. We'll check in on it a little bit later. But just know that that stuff is going on. Furthermore, a recent unwinding of levered growth positions acted as a market stress test that was, quote, passed with flying colors, end quote, according to Siegel. And that eased fears of systemic risk. On the economic front, Siegel observes that inflation is gradually improving and oil prices remain contained. Looking ahead to Federal Reserve policy, he expects rates to remain unchanged in September, but urges Chairman Kevin Warsh to clarify the Fed's reaction function at the upcoming Jackson Hole Symposium. Also, I do think Jackson Hole is going to carry a little bit more weight this year, given the dialed back guidance from the Fed. Ultimately, Siegel summarizes his bullish outlook by concluding, quote, the combination remains favorable for equities. Earnings are exceptional, oil is manageable, inflation is gradually improving, and economic growth, while moderating, is not collapsing. So that's where Siegel is here today. This has actually been pretty consistent, and it's not just a him thing. We've gone over Wells Fargo Investment Institute quotes. We've gone over LPL Financial Institute quotes. They all kind of say the same thing. Wonder if it's just kind of like a worrisome patch that we're getting through. Now, I don't want to write anything off for the rest of the year here. With midterms coming up, there's a lot of people that are kind of anticipating a sell-off. There are also people that have S&P targets higher than where we're at right now. So I don't want to write anything off. I think it's going to behoove us to watch all of that and be active. I think that gives us a little bit of an advantage there. All right. First news story here. This one's going to be on SK Hynix, and this is some news that we kind of covered there in the stocks to watch. We're going to dive into this a little bit more here. SK Hynix, which again is ticker SKHY, that stock rose more than 5% in Wednesday's pre-market trading after falling 9.2% in the previous session. The rebound comes as investors weigh a major shareholder return plan against concerns over AI spending and higher interest rates. SK Hynix is stepping up shareholder returns with a 40 trillion yuan or 29 billion USD stock buyback. The company also raised its free cash flow payout commitment as investors reassess the outlook for memory stocks. SK Hynix plans to repurchase up to 24 million treasury shares from August 20th through November 19th and cancel them. In addition, the company raised its shareholder return target to more than 50% of free cash flow. Previously, it had a targeted returns of up to 50%. The move follows SK Hynix's $26.5 billion U.S. listing a month ago. However, investors have since grown more cautious about the durability of AI infrastructure spending. eToro analyst Josh Gilbert told Bloomberg that the size of the buyback signals that SK Hynix is responding to investor demand by deploying its growing cash reserves to boost shareholder returns. CLSA Securities Korea Research, their head, Sanjeev Rana, said SK Hynix has likely hoped its U.S. listing would help close the valuation gap for its Korean-listed shares. Well, that has not happened. He said the buyback could help ease criticism from retail investors in Korea. We'll see if that happens. SK Hynix is a major supplier of high-bandwidth memory to NVIDIA, ticker NVDA, and as a result, the company has emerged as a major beneficiary of the AI data center boom. Still, concerns about AI spending have recently pressured memory stocks, and higher bond yields have also weighed on technology valuations. Allspring Global Investments portfolio manager Gary Tan told Bloomberg that buybacks could provide a temporary cushion. However, he said that interest rates remain the bigger driver of memory stocks. SK Hynix carries a buy consensus rating with an average price forecast of $245.50. Forecasts range from about $200 to $320. Wolf Research and RBC Capital initiated coverage with outperform ratings and $200 price forecasts on August 4th. Cantor Fitzgerald started coverage with an overweight rating and a $300 price forecast the same day. So SK Hynix doing well here today. I know there's a lot of like back and forth about how separated they are from the price and the Korea listed shares. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure what to make of that. I would just trade the stock that's in front of me. But this all sounds like positive for the future here. We've recently seen some of the memory names turn up. See if that's actually still happening here today. Let me take a quick peek. Micron is about flat, and SanDisk is also about flat. SanDisk is actually up about 25 points. So anyway, it'll be very interesting to see how SK Hynix fares from here. For those of you that trade the memory names, have you folks started to incorporate SK Hynix at all into your trading, or are you more just sticking with the traditional names like Micron, SanDisk, maybe even Western Digital? You'll have to let me know. All right. Next news story here, AI related. This is going to be on NVIDIA. NVIDIA's H200 chips are flowing into China again. ByteDance and Tencent get around 10,000 each, according to a report. So this is something that we've been tracking for months now. Limited batches of NVIDIA's powerful H200 AI chips have been approved for shipment into mainland China, signaling a limited easing of restrictions on those advanced chips. ByteDance and Tencent Holdings, which is ticker TCEHY on the OTC market, by the way, have each received around 10,000 H200 processors in the past few weeks. Other Chinese tech groups may soon receive approval for similarly sized shipments, reported by the Financial Times today. H200 chips are older than NVIDIA's latest generation AI processors, which Chinese customers cannot purchase due to U.S. export controls. China regulators have also allowed companies to ship H200 chips to Hong Kong, which operates under a separate customs regime for use there. Last week, several NVIDIA partners, including Lenovo, told Chinese customers they could resume ordering products featuring H200 chips. The companies combine NVIDIA chips with CPUs and networking equipment to build AI servers. However, purchases would still require separate approval through an application process overseen by China's state planner, the National Development and Reform Commission, or the NDRC, and that is according to the report. Beyond the limited number of H200 chips allowed into mainland China, Chinese regulators have also permitted companies to ship the processors to Hong Kong and then deploy them there in Hong Kong, despite the city operating outside of mainland China's custom territory. U.S. licenses likewise authorize shipments of NVIDIA's H200 chips to both mainland China and Hong Kong. However, access to Hong Kong does little to ease the pressure on Chinese tech companies because the city lacks enough data center capacity to accommodate said chips. Power constraints are also expected to limit any rapid expansion. In July, NVIDIA officially began shipping its H200 artificial intelligence chips to China under a strict case-by-case government licenses. The initial volumes remain heavily restricted. Despite the restrictions, recent U.S. approvals have cleared about 10 Chinese firms to receive advanced AI hardware from NVIDIA and Advanced Micro Devices, ticker AMD. This development follows the Trump administration's authorizations of the sale of NVIDIA's H200 AI chips to 10 Chinese tech giants. These include Alibaba, ticker BABA, and Tencent Holdings, each of which occurred in May. Each approved customer can buy up to 75,000 chips. However, Beijing's intervention halted those deliveries. China's ongoing import controls underscore its push to strengthen domestic chip makers, particularly Huawei, as they seek to capture a larger share of the world's second largest semiconductor market, where NVIDIA remains largely shut out by U.S. export restrictions. Still, China's limited access to the most advanced chip-making equipment could constrain its ability to meet rapidly rising domestic demand in the near term. That is likely to keep some demand for NVIDIA chips, particularly for AI training. So some of those chips are making its way to China. What does it actually mean? We shall see. We shall see. All right, how are we doing on time here? Got a couple of minutes before Tim. I definitely don't want to run him over. Here, you know what we're going to do? I don't actually have a story for this, but we're going to go back to Pro and we'll cover Moderna here a little bit. I know several of you folks are talking about Moderna. Several of you might even own Moderna. And if you did, today is a great day. Today is a great day for you, without a doubt. Now, the news here, let me actually read what this is. Merck and Moderna announced phase 3 Interpath 001 trial of one of its autogene plus drugs, Keytruda, and it met endpoints of recurrence-free survival, or RFS, and distant metastasis-free survival, DMFS, in patients with completely resected stage 2B4 melanoma. So lots of technicalities there. Here's what it actually means. So the trial itself, the Interpath 001 trial tested patients with completely resected high-risk stage 2B4 melanoma. Patients received either Keytruda and the mRNA treatment or Keytruda alone. This is key. The study enrolled 1,137 patients. It was randomized 2-to-1, making it a substantial global phase 3 trial rather than kind of a smaller exploratory study. The trial met the primary endpoint, so recurrence-free survival, or RFS, and key secondary endpoint of distant metastasis-free survival. Not easy to say. Safety was reportedly consistent with prior studies, and there were no new safety signals identified. That is also going to be key. The release does not yet disclose the actual hazard ratios, event counts, and median survival values or confidence intervals from the phase 3 trial. Therefore, we know the result was positive, but we cannot yet determine how large the benefit was from this release alone. Now, this is exceptionally good news because this is not a comparison against placebo or a weak treatment. The experiment regimen beat Keytruda alone, so it beat an already good treatment, making it even better. And this was already established in the marketplace. That matters because the incremental benefit required to improve a successful standard of care is typically much harder to demonstrate than simply showing benefit versus placebo. So what they did was actually more impressive here. And I know that there's going to be a big read through here on, well, are we able to cure cancer and all of that? Look, I think we're probably far away from like a general cure. However, any help that we can make in this field, everyone in this chat probably knows somebody that was affected by cancer, either directly or indirectly. And any positive steps that we make towards any of these different cancers is going to be huge. And you're literally seeing that here today. Moderna up 87%. This is not like a Chinese penny stock that was $3 that's up 80%. The stock was 62, 63 bucks yesterday, and it was up over 100% here in the pre-market. So really good data. We'll see what this means. Obviously, this is a positive for mRNA technology, which really had a rough time during COVID. But there's no getting around it. This is a stock that I've hated just because I have had a personal interaction with someone that I know that lost their life during COVID and all of that. Despite all of that, there's no getting around this. This data, at least as it's being presented here today, this is good. And anything, again, the big thing that I want to reiterate here is anything we can do to help, I don't even want to say, but to help cure or negate the effects of cancer. Any of that's going to be a positive. The market's telling you exactly that here today. So again, congrats to all of the Moderna holders. If any of you are looking to trade Moderna here today, I'd love to know what exactly the plan is on this. I did add this to the bot, so we'll see if the bot looks at any of those rising clouds and tries to trade this here. We'll see. And then Helene here says, phase 3 still isn't FDA approved for market. I get those profits, friends. Likely some pullbacks on news between now and then. I think Helene is probably right, but taking just a more like general 10,000 foot approach, folks, if you have a big cap equity that trades up 80% overnight, please take some gains. You don't even have to sell out of all of it. Just take some gains, for heaven's sakes. This is a humongous move. You might not see one of these again. Or to this degree again. So again, just make sure that you have some of that booked here. Really good news though. Really, really good news. And actually, let's see, where are we at here with the, look at that. So Moderna has come back into VWAP twice, held above it. We'll see if this can move higher. This is definitely going to be one of the things we watch here today. Okay. Now, in addition to some of the huge news, it's Wednesday, which means it's time for one of our favorite people. Let's go ahead and bring on Tim Melvin, see what he's got for us today. Okay, Tim, happy Wednesday. How are you?
Happy Wednesday. It's funny. And I think we talked about this on the show once before. I saw my doctor yesterday, and we were talking about flu shots, and I said, well, you know what? I don't really want the mRNA flu shot. I want the regular one. It's just, I'm not in the camp that says that all mRNA vaccines are bad. I just think that they need some more research on some of these, the regular ones, right? And I took all 5 shots. I got vitiligo from it. And knowing what I knew at the time about infection rates and fatality rates for people over 60, I would do it again. It seemed like a relatively minor, but I understand there was a lot of controversy around Moderna. But my fear was, and I told this to my doctor just yesterday, and Ryan, I know you and I talked about it. Mm-hmm. I think it was in the morning show. My big fear was that concerns over what happened in COVID would halt funding and development of what they were doing on the cancer front, because this isn't the biggest drug. Right, the biggest drug is related to pancreatic cancer, and it's a 6 to 9 month life extension that they're talking about in the early trials. That I don't care if it gives you vitiligo or makes you grow horns out of your head. Right? If you get something for a cancer that is always fatal, and we can extend life, and we can do so on a reasonable cost benefit basis, I'm a big fan. So hopefully this breakthrough, as important as the breakthrough is, it allows people to understand in their brain, we need to keep funding this research.
Yeah, no, that's very, very well said. Gary here says, as a cancer survivor, I always cheer for innovation attacking cancer. Gary, I don't think you're going to get anybody in this chat here to disagree with that. This is definitely a moment to be happy. Even if you don't own the stock, it is a moment to be happy. That's well said there, Tim.
Yes. All right. Now let's just jump in. Ryan, I sent you some.
You did
some material. So let's jump in on a couple of these, and then we want to get to 13F. So I can once again roast the media and the internet for all the stuff that they do wrong with 13Fs, costing you far more money when they should be making you money. But the first paper that I sent you is pull this one up. Neil Samani's Power 2026, electricity pricing in the age of AI. This is a little wonky. Okay.
Is this here? It is. I got it. Yeah, and this is, and guys, really quick, let me get this over here, Tim. Here it is. This is actually a link that I can give out. So I'll just go ahead and throw this here in the chat. All right. Yeah. Sorry, Tim.
Samani is an interesting guy because he came up through as a quantitative researcher at Citadel, focusing on commodity and energy markets, especially power and natural gas. His degrees from University of California, Berkeley, so we don't have to guess at his politics, but his degrees are in math, computer science, business administration, and he's big in AI and computer security. He's also worked in blockchain infrastructure. This guy is coming at this problem from all directions, from the AI angle, from the AI infrastructure angle, and from the electricity angle. So he sees more sides of this than most people, because the AI people, they see one side, the energy people see another. He's kind of seeing both. And, I'm going to kind of quickly give you the 30,000 foot view on this paper, but I do recommend that you go through and suffer through and read the whole thing, because it's important and it could make you a fortune. That's the only way I know how to put this. Power is moving from being an input cost to artificial intelligence to being a limiting factor. AI is using 5% of US electricity, and that's going to double every few years. Do the math, guys. We need a lot more electricity. And when we look at the infrastructure that was in place 5 years ago for the electrical grid, for generation, for transmission, we were already running short because of electric vehicles, the electrification of everything, the reshoring of industry. Come in a couple more years and we look at all of the capex and factory development incentives that are in the big beautiful law, and we were already going to need to do some upgrades to our generation and transmission capabilities. AI has poured gas on this fire, and as he goes through this, he talks about a couple of things being really important. One, I've beat you all over the head on this constantly. It's natural gas. Mm-hmm. Not just natural gas, U.S. natural and gas exploration and production companies. This is going to be a massive business. Finding those like Crescent Energy is a favorite. KNTK is a favorite. I'm big on Granite Point, GRNT. They are a non-operator owner of oil and gas wells around the United States, pay out all the cash flow. Very cool business. Their presentation explains it, and then paying out of the cash flow, they're yielding 9%.
I was going to say it pays a nice dividend. I own some of that GRNT.
Yeah, and that's one of those ones. I kind of always think people are full of what when they say this, but you know what? Just buy it. Don't look at the price. Just collect the dividend, reinvest the dividend, and just sit on it, because with what's happening in energy and electricity demand in the United States and indeed in the world, the price of U.S. natural gas is going to go higher over time. And this is a great way to play it that does not involve the futures market and the potential to lose your house, because natural gas is justifiably called the widowmaker. When it should go up, it goes way down. And when it should go way down, it goes way up in the short term. So it's one of the more difficult futures markets to trade. But you can actually, build positions in a lot of these things that pay great dividends to pay you while you wait. And I view it almost as inevitable, right? As long as management doesn't get ignorant in some of these companies and invest in stupid things or borrow too much money, time should be very, very good to these particular stocks. And then the other thing that he talks about a lot is the direct hookups, and we're seeing a lot of this around the basins. Baker Hughes has a whole side business doing it, where they're just building a small plant and hooking natural gas out of a nearby natural gas field right into the plant to spend the generation capacity and selling it directly to the data center, which is why I think land and by extension banks around the Marcellus Shale, the Permian Basin, the Bakken are also a tremendous way to play AI. And we could do an hour's discussion on this, and we don't have an hour this morning. So Ryan, maybe we'll do that as a webinar sometime real soon.
Okay, great.
But the other thing that he talks about is batteries, grid level batteries. It's battery storage, and understand we're not there yet. It's an idea. All right. We don't have it perfected. We're not very good at it. And that's a global we. Nobody's really good at this just yet and doing it effectively and efficiently. But that is going to be the future. That's what will drive expanded renewable usage. And, you don't need to pick a political side of the aisle here, because the answer, as China just proved, with everything going on in the Hormuz, China is the one country in the world that had no energy problems because they used everything. Right? So the answer is, what energy technology should we focus on? Is D, all of the above. So renewable is going to play a big role here, and a big part of that is going to be battery storage. So this is just setting up all of these massive long-term opportunities and some pretty cool trading opportunities too, because anytime natural gas did its widowmaker thing and went way down when it should have gone way up, I'd be looking at those things with maybe, a VWAP line or a, 5-day moving average line or whatever to try to catch a trade. Because someday these things are going to start moving and they're just going to keep going up. So anyway, that's
Tim, I really quickly, I think what I like the most going into 2026 at the end of 2025, I said that one of the key themes or sectors in all of 2026 at least is going to be energy. That proved to be correct. 13 going into this year had a huge theme on batteries as kind of a subset of energy, and that has proven to be correct. So at least this is confirmation that we had skated correctly to where the puck was going. Oh man, that's the boomer ringtone, Tim. That's the boomer ringtone. I hate to do it to you, but that's the boomer ringtone.
Dude, I'm 65 years old. I mean, what the hell do you want? Some hip hop rapper song ringtone?
Oh, that would be. Let me tell you something. If Tim's phone played a Jay-Z or some other hip hop track when it rang, I don't even know how I would go about my day from it. We digress there, Tim.
I listen to jazz, classical, and outlaw country. Okay, I'm the erudite redneck. I don't listen to rap and hip hop and I don't know what that stuff my youngest listens to. It sounds like two cats in a bag fighting with tin cans, but I don't listen to that either.
Two cats in a bag fighting with tin cans.
By the way,
oh gosh, okay.
I also have bird feeders, and I want those damn kids to stay off my lawn. Okay, so there we go. I hit that age, right?
There we go. All right, let's keep this train rolling here, Tim.
Okay. Alpha Architect came up with a cool paper, and if you're a trader and you don't read this, you're making a mistake. Wes Gray and his team are brilliant. They're big on trend following. So what they've done is they've come in and they've defined trend following regimes and your look back period by volatility. All right. I'm going to summarize this for you because, again, I've got some stuff I really want to get into today on the 13F side. But if the 40-day VIX moving average is under 18, you use a 10-month look back period. If the look back period is, VIX is between 18 and 32, you use 3 months. If it's over 32, you use a 1 month. So the more volatile the market is, the shorter volatility window you use. This has generally led to higher returns. And they look at it two ways. They tested it. One, you rank your assets, whatever you're going to use, sectors, asset classes. I have a whole trend setup that I use with a bunch of different asset classes and some obscure ones that I like. But anyway, if you either use the top one, whatever one's been the strongest over the look back period, that's really hyper focused. It's going to tend to have the higher returns and a little bit more volatility, or you use the top 5, right? Whatever those markets or ETFs or assets that you choose to use. But you shorten or lengthen your look back period based on where volatility is, so that when markets are really, really volatile, you are using really, really short look back periods, enabling you to get short longer when the market makes a really nasty reversal when volatility side, or do the opposite and get in a little bit earlier. Bottom line, it works. It works really well. Test out pretty good. Reduces volatility, has solid returns, and dramatically reduces overall market drawdowns.
Okay. Both of those studies have been thrown in the chat, by the way. The Alpha Architect one and the Power one links are in the chat.
Yeah, and Wes Gray and his team, by the way, they are brilliant. And Wes is one of the more interesting and intelligent guys I've met in all of finance. He's a former Marine. Well, I guess you're not allowed to be a former Marine. He served as a Marine captain during the Gulf conflict, and just is a brilliant guy. Then Citadel has another piece out. And if you're trading or investing or whatever you're doing, but especially if you're trading, you need to be reading Citadel on a regular basis, because there are not too many trades coming through the world that do not cross a desk at Citadel. So Citadel wrote a piece, and it's basically a bullish market flow argument. They're saying macro risks have not disappeared, but the flow, the internal supply and demand of the market right now is bullish, and it's really got a bit of a bias to the upside rather than the downside. So the central question right now, as we go into the end of summer, is not what can go wrong, but who's going to be a buyer higher. And his answer to this, when you read the piece, is that the list of potential buyers is getting longer. He points out, look, it's a lot of evidence here, a lot of tailwinds, right? Earnings for the S&P 500 is running around 33%, with earnings revisions being on one of the strongest positive trajectories since before 2000. It's broader than just AI, according to Rubner, in this quarter. Corporate earnings generally are coming in way better than anybody expected. The PE, he points out, has come back from 23 to 20. That does not have me dancing. He thinks it's a net positive, so we'll go with that. But earnings growth is doing all the work, not multiple expansion here, which is much healthier than the opposite. And most of the deleveraging, he thinks, particularly at CTAs and other rules-based quantitative portfolios, is coming to an end. And retail was a net seller in June and July. They're back, baby. Retail investors, and retail's doing something I haven't seen in a long time. They're buying stocks, but they're spending a large amount, as we talked about last week, on puts and other protection. So retail is buying, but they're hedging, which is something retail doesn't usually do. Just really fascinating. You really should be reading the Citadel research every week. That needs to be like on your Saturday. I'm going to sit here and read Citadel and just track market flow, so I kind of know where follow the money. Where's the cash going out here in this market?
Okay, real quick, Tim, I'm sorry to interrupt you here. Everything is ripping to the upside. Literally everything is trading up right now. Bitcoin at the highs, S&P futures at the highs, Dow at the highs, NASDAQ at the highs. Folks, I don't see any news to attribute this to directly. I'm looking. If I come across anything, long-term U.S. yields drop on Treasury plans to boost buybacks. That's about all the news I see out there. So everything's ripping. I got my eye out.
That's actually big news, and it's something that I've talked about a couple times, and particularly in the newsletters and some of the written material. This was part of the Mar-a-Lago Accord, right? Issue as much stuff on the short end as we can and buy back long maturity discounted bonds below face. So the Treasury doing buybacks is smart. Let's see how much they're able to do, because they do have to borrow more money to pull this off, and debt's going up faster than we thought already. We sailed over 39 trillion, and it looks sometime in the next 6 weeks we're going to hit 40.
Yeah, so this is basically, this sounds to me like the Treasury is injecting liquidity, and the market is loving it.
Yeah, that's what you're not far off the point there. So
there's your news.
So that's kind of what's going on there. All right, let's move to 13Fs, because I'm going to run out of time, and I didn't want to run out of time today. 13Fs are those cool little forms that the SEC makes everybody file every quarter if you manage over $100 million. And it can be some individuals, family offices, hedge funds, mutual fund companies, investment managers, pretty much everybody that's anybody has to file. Now, when you take this quarter's, and you compare it to last quarter's, you can see what people are actually buying and selling, and not just what they're saying on TV. So this quickly is very valuable, creates, as I call it, the world's greatest research department. Friday at the deadline, and you turn it, and it's predictable, right? They're going to come on, they're going to be, what did Warren buy? What happened at, well, not Warren anymore, but what happened at Berkshire Hathaway? What did they buy? What did they do? What did they sell? What's Kathy Woods doing? Although why anybody cares about what Kathy Woods doing at this point is beyond me. What's Bill Ackman doing? What's David Einhorn doing? What's Stanley Druckenmiller doing? And all of those are interesting, particularly Druckenmiller. Druckenmiller is probably the best of our lifetime, and we're likely not to see his ilk again. 30 years with no down years and high compounded returns. He files that, by the way, under Duquesne Capital, not his own name. And that's interesting to read, but 40 million other people are looking at it at exactly the same time you are, making it of far less value. Where you need to look is at the places where nobody else is looking. So I'm going to duplicate one that we talked about last night, because in light of the first article on energy demand, I think watching these guys is more important than ever, and that's Electron Capital. Electron Capital has been around for a long time, been around 20 years, and they've got a bunch of experts in renewable energy, in natural gas, in energy infrastructure, in geothermal energy, in renewable energy, in storage, in every aspect of the energy market. They're in there and they're active. Okay. So when we look at these, what they're buying and selling is probably important, because we know energy is going to be big. We know these guys are really smart, and they've been through some interesting cycles in their lifetime, and they've made a lot of money. Their compound return is actually high. So a couple that we saw last night that I'm going to highlight here. You're going to want to write these down, because both of these are 10-bagger potential, in my never humble opinion. I started to say not so often, but I was like, why kid everybody? Never humble. Rig is an offshore driller, oil services company. They've got operations in the North Sea, in the U.S., off of Latin America, pretty much everywhere in the world. Transocean is there. They came out of bankruptcy several years ago. They've made some transformative acquisitions. This is a company that has cleaned up its balance sheet. It's producing massive free cash flows already. On a reported earnings basis, it's about to go from a negative to a positive this year. As oil and gas demand continues to climb, and it's going to, rig is going to be huge. Offshore has been kind of a business, because energy demand wasn't fantastic, and China was the big question in there as to what their demand is. But everybody's energy demand is going up, and so is China's. And while China is also going to use nuclear, and they're going to use renewable, and China's even building coal plants, they're also going to use oil and gas. So oil and gas demand globally is going to go up. Rig is going to play a huge part in that, and it's not in the price. More importantly, on rig, there are a lot of smart people buying this stock, and I'll come back to that in a second. But then the other one that we looked at was EOS Energy, highly speculative play here, okay? They do battery storage solutions for utility and large-scale commercial and industrial and renewable energy markets. They're a leader. They're not profitable. They may never be profitable, but I actually think they get to a profit. I think their technology is very good. I think they're a little bit ahead. We have some of the smartest people in the industry confirming that by taking positions in the stock. So I think that's one that that's worth the speculative flyer, as I like to say, to be just, I do plan to buy some of this and stick it in with my Merlins and my Auroras and my other, if it does work, my grandchildren will thank me for a portion of my portfolio that I just close my eyes and forget about, because they're either going to a million times what I paid, or they're going to zero. And we'll see, and this belongs in that part of your portfolio. So Electron Capital, that's one of those ones every quarter. If you buy the energy thesis, you need to be on top of it, because they are some of the smartest guys in the energy markets.
Okay, so, EOSE, no stranger to our show. Remember, folks, we've actually traded this before for a number of years. So we should actually all be familiar with this. This has had a huge move and round trip. We're pretty much right back down to where we were trading it initially.
Yeah, and we covered a bunch of these last night, and I continually cover them on Benzinga Edge, in alpha buying, and in the e-letter that we send out every week. I talk about it during every quarter, and we cover it in Under the Radar too. So there will be more discussion of 13Fs every quarter in all three of those edge services, because I think it's important that we use the world's greatest research department, but we use it correctly, right? Because if everybody else is looking at it and it's all over the internet and it's all over TV, it's probably not going to make you money. Now, the first place I go is to the filings of the big three private equity companies, because I'm going to learn something every time I go there. They see the world through a lens that nobody else is seeing it. They are not constrained by their views of the equity market. They're in stocks, they're in bonds, they're in real estate, they're lending money, they're borrowing money. They own stuff all over the world. They have a boots on the ground perspective because they're running business and operating real estate, not just running a portfolio. So the first one I go to is Kohlberg, Kravis, and Roberts, just because they've been around a very long time. And when I pull that up, their biggest positions this month are debt. And this is the second or third quarter in a row where their primary positions have been relatively short-term, higher grade, high yield debt. So NCL Corporation, which of course is Norwegian Cruise Line, First Energy, some Akamai, and again, debt. This is telling you something, right? These people own and operate more businesses, I think, than anybody else in the world. And they're not buying stocks for the most part. They're buying debt of a short-term bias, just kind of locking up a return and, treading water a little bit, locking in some short-term high yields. And then let me just kind of going through here. All right, then there was an IPO of GMR Solutions, which is emergency medical services in Lewisville, Texas. They did an IPO. KKR was the private equity banker on this deal, so they still own about 30% of the stock. They kept the stock in the portfolio. Generally speaking, the important thing to understand about private equity IPOs, their incentive fee goes up as the price of this stock goes up. Now, 20 cents of every dollar this stock goes up over time belongs to the firm. They have a vested interest in seeing that happen. They also hold quite a bit on the balance sheet. So real debt, not doing a lot of buying, which is unusual for them. They usually are buyers. They've got this one IPO out there that is worth a second look. They did buy some Bausch Healthcare, which is another one of their companies. They bought some Paramount Sky, which is PSKY. And that's going to kind of wrap up our thing on KKR. Then I want to look at Apollo, the private equity firm. Helps if you spell things right. There we go. 1 second. And I know I'm stomping on the other guy's time, so I want to be quick here. Apollo comes out of the wreckage of Drexel Burnham all those years ago. Oh, no, what is going on here? I'm having a problem. Okay, so maybe we're not going to get to Apollo today.
Okay, well, that's okay, because I actually have a question here real quick that you can handle instead. PJ Trader says, Uncle Tim, we all know you like banks. Can you provide some input on Stockyards, ticker SYBT?
SYBT. Stockyards is a very well-run bank. Been around for a very long time. They just raised the dividend, by the way, off the back of a pretty strong earnings report. Now, I'm not rushing to buy Stockyard. It's trading at 2 times book, which does put them in the catbird seat if they want to make some deals. Okay, that gives them a pretty good currency. You can see they just bought Field and Main earlier this year to expand into Western Kentucky, completed the deal in May. So if there's a potential buyer out there, they want a currency that, is strong and it has the chance to go up. So Stockyard is, looking pretty attractive. But at 2x earnings and 15 times earnings, that's a pass for me at this point in time. Okay. Generally speaking, I'm looking to be a buyer below tangible book value, or in the case of a slightly larger bank, 2.6 billion, like Stockyards, then I want a dividend north of 3% and a PE under 11, because historically that's been what's delivered the return. But having said that, this is a really good bank with a really decent loan portfolio, high sleep tight factor. They're not prone to doing, lots of stupid stuff. It's just not cheap right now.
Would you, if you own this, would you consider selling, or is this just stay the course?
That's a stay the course until we get bad news. You got to understand, the banking system's healthier than they're telling you by a bunch. Okay. So anyway, I've just about run out of time. So real quick, Apollo has been a very big buyer in real estate, and they're buying OPI, which is kind of a little bit of a beaten up office REIT. That is worth considering here at $19 a share. This thing was restructured, reorg, and REIT IPO'd back in June of last year. Yes, June. So lots going on here, but it's extremely cheap. Apollo is now one of the largest shareholders out of the reorganization, along with Helix and Liberty Mutual. So the potential for this thing to be reworked and go a lot higher is really good. Okay. So that's all I've got. That's all I've got time for. I could go for about another hour on 13Fs alone, but I think that Adam would probably not take kindly to that.
Yeah, and that's okay, because we actually have a webinar that we did last night where we dove into a lot of these funds and the stocks that they were buying. So if you want that, let me know. I'd be more than happy to share that replay with you. Tim, we appreciate all of your insight. Thanks very much. Have a great rest of your week. We'll catch up with you next time.
All right, guys. I will not see you next week.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You told me that. I apologize.
Granddaughter at the beach. You guys are out, man. She wins every time. So
yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
In a couple weeks.
All right. Sounds good, Tim. Take care of yourself. That is Tim Melvin. Some more 13F breakdowns there, some more long-term things to take a look at. Really good stuff. Now, I told you it was going to be a jammed Wednesday. It is, in fact, that. Let's go ahead and bring on our next guest. Let's bring on Adam Mesh and see how he's doing, see what he's got for us today. Adam, good morning. How you doing, my man?
All right. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Let me just get this out of the way right away. Did you hold Moderna overnight?
No, I was never in it, but I wish I did.
Yeah, indeed. Huge move.
Did you?
Today. No, actually. Well, here's the thing. So I look, egg on my face today. Hand up. I will admit it. I hate this company. One of my neighbors during COVID took the shot and hours later died. And
really?
Her family was out here right by my building. They were talking about all of this, and I hate to admit it, but I was eavesdropping on it. COVID was a crazy time. What can I say? So to me, this always had kind of a stink on it. Bill Gates is involved with this. So me personally, I didn't like it. But all that as an aside, as Tim Melvin was just saying, this company is working on a new type of treatment to try and really kind of cure. I don't even think it's wrong to say they are trying to cure cancer, or at least limit the damage that cancer does. I lost my father to lung cancer. Everybody that I know has someone that they've lost to cancer. It's a terrible disease. And ultimately, my own personal opinions aside, that is insignificant. If this actually works and this is really good and this helps people survive and live longer and better lives, my opinion on this whole thing is insignificant. So this to me was a no touch. During COVID, I had called this thing a zero, and the company has very clearly proved that they are not that. So this is not something that I would have held. I'm not making any money off of this move. I am, however, very happy for those that I know that are making a lot of money off of this, and then for humanity, if this is good for all of us, great. That everyone benefits here. So I just wanted to ask right off the top. It's not often you see big caps trade up 100% in the morning, and that's exactly what happened here. So it is what it is.
Ryan, I'll try not to bring down your audience. I will. But my dad passed of cancer last week.
I'm sorry for your loss, man.
Thanks. The funeral was he had a glioblastoma for 3 years that he fought. The funeral was Monday. So I'm only doing 2 calls today, which are this and another one, and I am a little out of the market, so I need the audience's help to find ideas. I love being on here. This is my therapy to come talk stocks. I wasn't going to mention anything except for the fact that
I'm really sorry for this. I had no idea.
No,
Adam.
no, I know, and you could have, and I wasn't going to mention it except for the fact that you said you lost your father to cancer too, and that cancer sucks. And I'm like, yeah, wow, it's like he knows. Like I'm going to tell him stuff. Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely no, and thanks to chat for being kind here.
Yeah.
Look,
therapy. What did Moderna do? Why are they up so much?
So basically, the long and short here, Moderna shares are trading higher after the company and Merck announced top-line results from a phase 3 study where the trial met its primary and key secondary endpoint. That's the technical term. What actually happened here is that one of their treatments combined with Keytruda gives really good results and survivability rates for the patients that are testing it. The study enrolled 1,137 patients. That's 1,137 patients. It was randomized 2-to-1, and it makes it a substantial global phase 3 trial. So there's a lot of optimism here about this drug in combination with Keytruda.
Your audience is awesome, by the way. They're
so
nice, and it's not. And really, honestly, guys, I promise I came here because I love being in the community talking. So thank you.
And I'm glad that you said that because I wanted to create that, right? I'm big on the community. I know it doesn't always mean dollar signs like right away, but the community is a place where you can come and feel comfortable talking about all of this. The way I look at this, Adam, therapy is in session. Let's talk stocks. Let's talk stocks. Let's come up with something here. I'll change gears a little bit here real quick. MBIS had an offering this morning. All right. Now, MBIS had an offering. It sold off. It started to trade back up. But then we got news that we're basically going to have more a liquidity injection, right? And the entire market traded higher. SPY traded higher. Qs traded higher. IWM traded higher. The Dow traded higher. Bitcoin ripped. So MBIS, I'm almost wondering here, post-offering, really good news kind of refreshing the cycle. This stock's been wild. Might we have more? A possible trade here on MBIS today, getting back to red-green or going from red to green and then maybe even making a move?
So what was that? 454% in Q2 revenue. That's crazy. No? Driven by strong customer exceeding 40 billion. So this stock 52 range is 62 to 299.
I know.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is.
So it's down on earnings?
No, right? It's down on an offering.
Oh. I thought it had
It did a $4.5 billion convertible senior notes in 2 series. 2.75 of convertible notes due 2030 and 1.75 due 2034. That's what here's my thought process.
Did they say what price did they say?
Actually, that's a good question. I probably have to go through the PR there to figure that out. Let me see. Yeah, sorry. The numbers here, I'm just looking for the highlighted numbers. It does not say what price it is.
Yeah, I think that would be, I'll try to find it. But I always like to know the price relative to where it's trading. Because if it's close enough, it doesn't matter. If it's too far down, it does.
All right, let me see if I can try and find that for you here.
Okay, it's a convertible debt, not stock offering. So, okay, 4.5 billion of senior notes. So for data centers. Meanwhile, I am in the data centers plays. I when I look over, all the ones I'm in are just getting hit for the last couple of days. Wolf, APLD, Fermi, they're all no good right now, but I'm holding them. So, because I think the problem is that they're not like, it's just, these are such long-term deals, so like they could go down and they'll go back up, but like it's the right place to be. I think I'm in them. This one looked so good the other day at the beginning of the week, and then it's down.
I mean, I'll tell you what though, this if it holds this here, you might be okay. APLD was the other one that you talked about.
Yeah, but they're all bad right now. I'll tell you, literally like the stuff I like right now is like the boring stuff. I'm in that like what stock looks like it's about to go on a run possibly, but it does have earnings. I've talked about it with you before when it was in the 20s, and I gave you a whole explanation. Dropbox, and they're just constantly.
What's the ticker again? Sorry.
DBX. So this is one that they're constantly buying back stock in. And now it's sitting at a 52-week high. So we sold puts at 30 to take ownership of this. And then we started selling calls against it. And it actually ran up so fast from 27 to 35 that we're going to have trouble rolling those calls. It's not great options in the stock. It's a better stock. Mm-hmm. But you could sell calls if you own it. It's just a little hard to roll them because they're not that liquid. Because then you lose on both middles. But Dropbox has been one that I feel very comfortable holding. So what we did was we started selling bull put credit spreads underneath because it had gone up too much. But it was a really nice win for my group. And it's sitting like a little bit below the 52-week high. When was it? Yeah,
it's sitting a little bit below the 52-week high, but right above this breakout level too.
Yeah.
And this still looks okay if it holds in.
Yeah, it's a good-looking stock. That when I look at my screen and I think what I'm happy I own right now, Dropbox is one of them. The other one that's still doing well that I mentioned last time I was on is where is it? BWA, that Borge Warner, just holding good in the high 60s. Great stock where you can own and sell a call against it for like $5 if you want. So these are more conservative plays. These aren't like the fun option plays, but those are the ones that are working for me when I look at my screen right now.
Okay. Do you want to talk about some of the quicker, smaller, maybe riskier plays?
Yeah.
For the day? Yeah. Okay, because I got a perfect person to bring on for that.
Oh, please, let's go.
Let's do it.
I need some ideas. Yeah.
Let's bring on 13. 13, good morning. Happy Wednesday. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Adam. Sorry to hear about your father. I understand all too well the situation. I lost my father back in 2009 to melanoma. But I'm very sorry to hear about that. But let's see if we can try to cheer you up with some new stock picks.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. I say we just start here at the movers. We kind of already talked about Moderna. Very rare that we find a big cap on here, but that's the case. There are a couple of others here. 13, is there any of these that you want to go over first? It looks like YJ is being asked about here in the chat. Of course, Clove is being spammed here again, no surprise. But also RDAC, that was one of the China names that's not sub 5 million market cap. So I don't know if that's really going to be like some of the other China runners that we've seen, but we can take a look at that. Tinon had some good news here as well today. Where do you want to start?
Well, I think we shouldn't quite take our eyes off of IPST yet. That thing had some great moves yesterday, and I was making all kinds of memes because it was just hilarious. So
the Con Air one gets me every time.
Oh man, it was so funny. But yeah, I mean, it had Nicolas Cage from National Treasure. It could really be that simple, and of course it was. But this thing went on a run. It didn't get to the stupid. It didn't get to the stupid levels we were talking about, but it went pretty far. It's still trying to trade back up, but running into some a trend line I have as resistance. It's the same one that I was talking about all day yesterday. The one in the meme. So if you just extend that one further, we've been hitting the underside of that this morning. So wouldn't take my eyes off of IPST. Haven't really looked at the other ones yet here either. We could start with the one that's moving the most, Galmed. What's the situation here?
Galmed, which ticker is that?
Or maybe it's GLMD. Maybe it's not showing up for you on that one because it probably isn't trading a whole lot of volume. No, it's not. 13.8K. So never mind on that one. My scanner doesn't really discriminate that.
Yeah, that's okay. that one. Okay, let's take a look at YJ. Chat asked about YJ. This one first. First of all, they have earnings tomorrow. Again, Chinese company. Let me take a look at the market cap just to ensure. Yeah, 34 million here. We did get. There's no news on this either, The last piece of news was them confirming their earnings for tomorrow. So I don't know if somebody expects something out of this. Float on this 13.86 million. Its average volume is just shy of $1 million. It's traded 76 million plus shares today. Don't ask me how this makes any sense. It doesn't to me. And there's no short interest on this. Completely negligible. Here's what the chart looks like. Stock's up 223%.
Yeah, there is a bit of a trend line here that might be able to take it up to 7. Absent news or any other information about why this is going, because it's not one of those super micro floats where it's under 1 million shares. It's still pretty low, but not exceedingly low. I don't have a great of an angle on that one, but I would just say there's a trend line you can draw if you start from that very first impulse candle at 6 o'clock and draw it through all the highs that we've made since then. That just lines straight up with the ones we just put in at 8:30. It looks like we're going to try.
So ridiculous.
Isn't it kind of crazy? Isn't it crazy?
It's just
could it really be that simple?
I'm looking at this and I'm like, you're basically asking me to put a near vertical line on the chart, but sure enough, it connects all of the points. Look at that.
So if we get this impulse here, which it looks like it's kind of percolating, if it continues to increase in volume, we should see another hit of this trend line, maybe before we get into the open. But I don't think if it does make that move up, then great. There's a little trade there, but I don't really think that this is worth picking up just yet. I think this one looks better. It would look better if it was trading in the regular session. It looks like it's about to go higher, so I don't want to poo-poo it right now, but just be careful with this one because it needs a lot more volume if it's going to go higher, and it doesn't seem like it's getting that just yet.
No, and it also seems like it's really struggling with 6. It's tried to peak above that twice, but it's just wicked above that. So we'll see. Let me ask Adam really quick. When you see something like this, how do you trade something like this? How do you approach trading something like this? Do you avoid it? Do you actively try it? Does the move it makes in the pre-market kind of tell you that it might be in play here today? How do you go about looking at something like this?
It's kind of like, honestly, it's probably not the right answer. If I'm having a good day in the regular stocks I trade, I try not to look at them.
Yeah.
If I'm struggling for ideas on a day like today and I want something in motion, then what I look for is so I'm looking at the screen, I'm watching the offers. And so it's not really if the bid drops 50 cents, it's where do the offers come down? And when the offers aren't coming down and there's no one holding the offer, and they're quick to get out of the way. And even for a $2 stock, sometimes you get a gap. Mm-hmm. So it's trading by like a 15-cent spread, 20-cent spread before it speeds up, right? Like this one's already a little hard, but like that's when I try to get involved. And if we have positive halts, that's a good thing. Like right after a first halt is usually a good thing to get up. But then it's really just like trying to know when to jump off. It's like surfing a wave, right? Like when are you going to bail with the rhythm? Because at some point you expect that wave will crash. Mm-hmm. So
that's very interesting. So you're also kind of looking at the halts as well. That's something that we do here. We count them and we get a little bit more skeptical when we get to 3 of them. So good to hear it's something similar. Yeah, sorry.
But yeah, no, in the prior to the move, watching the spread. And when you see, like, sometimes you see someone holding that offer. When they're holding the offer and then they start to push down a little bit, that for me could be a trigger that the move could be over and happens really fast. But all of a sudden when a seller comes in and people are hitting up against it and the bid's hitting up, and then all of a sudden they start to go a little bit lower, now you have a real seller, and that's when I try to get out of the way. So I do try to watch the offer to try to time when to bail on these.
Okay, that's really good. We have also talked about watching kind of level 2 and time and sales. It sounds like that's one of the things that you're watching there as well. Zach McCracken mentioning here, look at August 7th for YJ. This stock went to 14 in a day and came back in. So anything's possible here at 13. And Adam, we'll see what we end up doing here on YJ. All right.
I just want to see better volume in that. That's kind of why at this stage I'd be maybe waiting out the regular session. Probably get to see some better volume then.
Okay. All right. You want to do RDAC or TNON next here?
RDAC, I was just trying to look into that. That's a SPAC. So you're going to have SPAC shenanigans happen there. I don't know if they found a company or not. That would be one of the first things I'd want to know if they found a company they want to merge with. to see if that's the reason why we're taking off here, because this thing was trading well below their $10 SPAC price, and now we're back above it. So I would think that there's maybe going to be a fade here, but I was just looking to see if there's any news on if they found a company to merge with or whatever. What is this reason for the spike here, other than let's try to make some junker move,
Yeah. Well, I think that what's going on here, I mean, I know it's delayed a little bit because this came from Friday, but this 13G is basically saying that Barclays took a passive stake of 6.7%. Okay. I don't know if that's why it's moving here today, though. That doesn't make sense. I mean, that was the 14th.
So according to some of this information I just pulled up, they are supposed to be merging with HZJL Cayman Limited. That's been approved since November last year, and they've gone through multiple timeline extensions into the middle of this year as they work towards final closing conditions. So I wonder if there's maybe some progress being made on that front.
Don't know.
You guys, you guys see ZNB?
ZNB. Let's take a look at that. 20
million shares traded. Moving on heavy retail speculation tied to a low float Chinese issued stock pattern, with traders referencing a 10 million private placement at 293. That was final.
The other thing that fits this here, this is an American company, but float, micro float. I show a float of 231K and a market cap of under $1 million.
Yep. Careful with this one. This has been hit by HRT Financial.
Oh, did it really? Good spot, 13.
What's that mean?
So go ahead.
Yeah, HRT Financial, we've noticed that.
I'll be right back, 13.
Yeah,
1 second.
This is actually a firm that tends to buy these pump and dump names and trade them. So whenever we see them show up in the news feed, because you can see in July 28th, they bought almost 31,000 shares. They had been buying some earlier in July as well. And then at the end of July, they started selling a bunch of it. So whenever we see HRT Financial, we're thinking, okay, this carries a little bit added risk because they're kind of behind the scenes with this one. It's like a big cautionary flag for us.
I love that. 13, you play poker?
Yes, I do sometimes.
Yeah. I feel like you look at tells. Like HRT, that's like I was just watching a video on Instagram where this guy hit like a monster hand. The guy he was playing against looked at him, he goes, "You just blinked. You have 3 of a kind." And he folded, and the guy did. He's like, "What did I do? What did I do?" That's great.
I don't play it enough to know what the guy's holding when he blinks. That's why I play stocks.
Yeah, but I like to tell. I'll avoid it on just that.
Well, I mean, so I don't know how great it's going to trade. It might trade great because it's one of those. It fits our parameters for the low float, so it can easily get pushed around. It's under 5 million shares, so. It's potentially subject to the new NASDAQ rule. But the fact that HRT Financial has been having their hands all over this, it gives me pause,
Yeah.
So I think we'll see what it does. It's looking like it's trying to get some support down around 250. Well, I would also wait this one out until the regular session just to see what it does.
Okay. Real quick, I want to go with a couple of others that actually have some news. Femi was actually called live in the chat here, so that's freaking amazing. This is Femisys. Stock is up 24%. It's actually pulling back now. It's through the VWAP. Femisys announces FDA approval of modular PMA submission approach for FemBlock.
What was the other company? I think it was earlier this week or sometime late last week that was also a female products or female care healthcare company. I can't remember what it was, but do you know what I'm talking about, Ryan?
Say that one more time.
I don't remember if it was this week or last week. There was another stock that was centered around women's healthcare, and I think it was INVO.
IVF.
Is IVF or okay? So it was IVF. It might have
Vivio
been.
Fertility, right? This is I think this one's it. They reported earnings, but maybe it was INVO because we've traded that one. No. I'm mixing that up.
No, it's right.
Yeah, it's INVO. That's the name of it. It's IVF. Okay. That's what.
Yeah. So sorry, I was just kind of thinking because when you see different names kind of in the same segment of healthcare, I start to pay attention and see if there's a theme developing here. So there's one that has run recently, IVF. Now we have another one, very similar spaces in healthcare. So when I start to see stuff like this, I also want to look around for some other related names in women's healthcare to see if there might be a relationship trade.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye and see if any of those other ones move at all there. That might be something for us to look at. Okay, and then the other one that I wanted to mention here was Marvell. That's the levered ETF. That's not going to do. I posted the news in the chat earlier, but Marvell also had a power candle. Stocks up nearly 14%. Marvell enters an agreement with Google to expand TPU ecosystem, including AI inference, accelerators, storage controllers, network interface controllers, memory interface controllers, and near memory compute. Company to issue Google warrant to purchase up to 58 million Marvell shares at an exercise price of $206. That's your news on Marvell. This is what the chart looks like here. Power candle here for Marvell actually looks like it's going to try and go higher.
Interesting.
They bailed on Poet because they said Poet leaked their deal early, and they pulled out of using Poet as a data center, and it temporarily destroyed that stock once, like this summer.
Yeah, that Poet. That was actually one of my buddies who runs a firm was telling me about. He was just walking me through the short. He's like, I'm shorting this for sure, and he just walked me through the entire thing. It was unbelievable. Here's what you're talking about. This is when it got crushed.
Yeah, that was on the Marvell news.
Yeah,
I was day trading that on a plane.
That's impressive. Better than snakes on a plane.
By the way, MRNA, the whole idea of that, because I've done a lot of reading on this, like even with what my dad had, they had with people who had brain tumors, they injected with mRNA, and there were studies where it disappeared overnight, and like it started to, like, I don't know, it's crazy the science with this mRNA. So like when Moderna, when it's up this much, it could be like the future of healthcare.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons that you're seeing it here. That's why I'm trying to be a little bit more. I'm trying to remove my bias from this, because if this is a massive advancement for the future of healthcare, I mean, this is only the beginning.
It's like when you don't like a guy and he donates to your charity, and you're like, oh shoot, now I gotta like him.
Yeah,
you know?
well, I mean, there's something to that, though, right? There's something to kind of keeping an open mind, right? Like, facts change, and for us being traders, our opinions on that have to consider those facts and also be nimble. And look, if this company, I'll be willing to forget Bill Gates's involvement and COVID if this company comes up with legit cures for cancer. That's as simple as I can put it.
That sounds reasonable. 13 for mRNA. Do you have a level on that? Like, were you thinking?
Let's look here. I don't own mRNA, but I do own Merck.
I guess it's gone now. The 52-week high was 85. So this is in, right?
So what's interesting about this is that, oh man, I think, Brian, you're going to like this. You ready to draw a parallel channel?
Yep.
Okay. So let's start with February, the low of February 2022.
Okay.
And let's draw the trend line all the way down through the low of April 14th, I guess it was, or something around there at 2025. And then just pull it up and match it up with the highs.
There it is.
Yeah, and then we just broke out of this.
Yeah, we just broke out of this. You're absolutely right. Let me see if I can adjust this, make it a little bit longer here so we can encompass today's candle.
So that's number one. Number two is that we've run right up into a supply zone. This supply zone starts right about here, just shy of 120, and goes all the way up to about 200. And this is like a lot of the consolidation from 2022 and 2023, where just a lot of back and forth price action happened before we finally lost the support. We did re-enter this briefly in 2024, but didn't stick around there too long, assumingly because the supply was just too heavy. So I think that's going to be an area that you want to keep an eye on, and should expect maybe a slog in price action as it goes up and through that area from about 120 to 200. Lots of support and resistance areas in that area, including the 165. Looks like 130 maybe also as well, 133 I think. But there's a lot of support and resistance levels in that supply zone that the price has run up to.
Okay, Dara here. This is yeah. Thank you for that. 13. Dara here saying Moderna's going to dump. There will be no data on the trial until 2030.
Interesting. That's great news. So and that makes sense because look at the RSI. We're very, very extended now. Probably we're not at the highest RSI we've ever had. That was back in 2021, but we're not too far away either. So I think that's not a bad assessment. It looks like this could maybe slightly higher prints, but it should come back in. I would agree with that.
Okay. All right. We're about to open here. Adam, really good stuff yet again. I'm going to send everyone to the drift early. Anything that they should be aware of today?
The drift's going to be a great show. Tom was away last week. We had Tony Batista. We'll have Tom back. He's ready to go. I spoke to him yesterday. He's been trading really well. It's going to be all stock ideas. Last time he gave us the Uber, which was a monster move. So thank you.
All right. Stock ideas. Be sure to tune into the drift. Just stay here. I'll send you there. Adam, we appreciate the time here today. Have a good one. Can't wait to have you back. All right, buddy?
Appreciate you, Adam. Thanks, too. Be good, guys.
All right. That is Adam Mesh, one of our favorite traders out there. We are lucky to add him to our community. Please tune in to the drift here today.
We had the baseball chime. That was awesome. Did you hear that? The little baseball chime when the market opened? Da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, I did not, but that's awesome.
That was hilarious.
That's awesome.
That's what I was chuckling at.
All right. Okay. By the way, Femi here sitting right above its VWAP might be gearing for another move. We will see.
Yes. Trade Blue. Moderna's options do have over 10 days to cover, and they are 15.34% of the float shorted. That is correct. So you could also be getting some of that this massive move up as a result of that short interest. And days to cover. And here we are with Moderna. We are already trading a little bit lower, trying to get some support at the 115 area. This was resistance initially when on this move up at 7 a.m. Couldn't get through it there. And it wasn't until 45 minutes later when it broke through that resistance that we started trading above it and holding that 115. Now it's under pressure. If we lose it, then that becomes resistance again.
Okay, VWAP test coming here on Moderna. Femi, by the way, going right to the highs. I'm sorry I took it off the screen. 350, new high 354, 355. Femi pop. Grats to anyone that was trading this one here today. Femi giving us a nice move. By the way, S&P or SPY here looks like it's trying to come into VWAP. About 770 is going to be your spot there. S&P futures are a ways away from its VWAP, so there might be a little bit more of a pullback here.
YJ. Glad I said I'd rather wait for this to trade in the regular session because down is the first move it made, and it came close to VWAP here. So this one that was trading up here this morning, kind of behaving with that trend line, didn't quite get up there. Now let's see what happens with this. If it finds some support anywhere in any of these previous levels, it looks like 440 right about where it's at, or VWAP right at 4 might provide some support. You also have the 65 EMA and the 200 EMA beneath that, down as low as 250. But let's see if we can continue to hold above VWAP, and if we start turning around, we'll identify some other upside levels we can look at.
Okay.
RDAC halted the upside, by the way.
Halted to the upside on RDAC. Okay, that was going to be one of the Chinese names. That's interesting. We'll see if we get a big pop here as well. Really quickly, JJ, I did get your email. I will respond to it. I'm sorry I was tied up yesterday. EKS. Registering, trimming some of the BMY, Bristol Myers, and also Merck, which was up on the back of this Moderna news here today. That's really good. Question here, what about Apple? I'm not really sure what you're asking. We love Apple here. Apple is one of the safety AI trades, recently made a pretty decent pullback. I like this. I have a long-term view on this, long and strong. To me, it actually looks like this might curl back up towards the highs. Just an opinion there.
There was... let's see, I'm trying to see who it was. Alan was mentioning a while back that EL was trading up. They had earnings and they are up 15%. It looks like they could run into resistance around 100. I think that's what he was also saying. But if it goes beyond 100, then it may run to 120. I don't know that it's got all that in it. It's 120 is absolutely a level to watch, but let's see if it's got enough to get beyond 100. I think given how the news is well received, and this has been, really, really trading down over a long period of time, that any new revisits of old prices are going to likely be met with some selling as people want to probably reduce their holdings or jump out of this thing.
Okay. EL, by the way, registering there for Alan. He talked about this pre-earnings.
Yep,
this is a
did.
nice move here. Really good stuff, Alan.
Yep.
Jaquimi asking, are you guys in any NVIDIA plays? Not at the moment. Remember, NVIDIA reports at the end of this month, and we've kind of flagged that as a pretty key event for this month that is likely going to impact the entire AI trade. I have no position going into that. The bot is allowed to trade it. It's on the list, so I'll let you know. That's more of like a technical trade there. By the way, S&P or SPY, I should say, coming back into the VWAP. Nice coming back into the VWAP. Palantir at the highs. Netflix at the highs. Tesla at the highs. SpaceX reversing. That's actually selling off. Tesla, again, like yesterday, seeing a whole lot of call sweeps here right out of the open as well. Now, Tesla did come in yesterday from all of that. Oh, and I wanted to debut something here. 13, we talked about this a little bit yesterday on the on Happy Hour. We thought we'd come up with something. So I know I get asked here all of the time, is there news? Is Trump speaking? All of that. What's the impact on the market? Well, I actually created something for us here, guys. We have the Trump response generator. We will be able to figure out what that is. I even threw in a market sentiment meter here at the bottom. So let's see what the next thing is going to be. All right, very, very soon, we're going to slap sanctions on Greenland. We have all of the cards. Market thinks this is a +2 sentiment. So we're okay here so far today. Ed, you let me know if you like this more than the 8 balls predictions. We'll see what we end up getting from this. I'll let you know if it works.
Copart up out of the gate pretty nicely here, coming up to some of the highs from yesterday. They had news toward the end of the day yesterday that they are one of the leading, I think, suitors for car insurance software firm CCC. That is also the same thing as the ticker. It's Intelligent Solutions Holdings. That popped on that news. It's still up here. Holding the sideways channel that it created as a result. Pretty interesting news. I think this would be great for Copart if they end up getting it, especially given the theme that we had discussed previously about the move back towards used and older cars. But Copart, man, this is having a great morning here.
It sure is. And let me tell you something. That move down, this was wild when this news came out yesterday. That move down there gave you an ad spot at 30. This is a really good recovery of that, too. I think that this is actually bullish for the price going forward, 13. I don't know what you think about that, but generally speaking, I like this. I think this also helps confirm your bottom.
I hope that it kind of priced in, some of the cost of acquiring that company. I don't exactly know how they're planning on doing that, if it's going to be, cash and stock mixture or some kind of all stock deal or whatever. But I'd like to think that move down kind of priced a little bit of that in. So we'll see if that's the case. Looking at some of the other car parts and
AZO, O'Reilly.
Yeah, AZO, O'Reilly. They're still trying to turn around here after selling off from their highs. This is down. It's down pretty good. It's over 30% AZO that it's down. Trying to recapture the 200-day SMA. So if this can, continue to go sideways and recapture, I would say 3,200. I think we might be back in business with AZO.
Okay, AZO trying to get above yesterday's intraday high. That car part theme, I still like that, 13. It looks like that is continuing here. Marvell, we talked about the news earlier. This is actually pulling back. The rest of the market is kind of pulling back with this. Someone, I can't remember who it was in the chat, and I apologize for that, but one of you folks said, hey, we're going to pull back at the open. That is so far exactly what we're getting here. That was a really good call. Watch some of these names we're putting in an intraday bottom and see if they give you a tradable spot. Lily calls booked for Lion. Bang. There we go. Lily straight up again. This had a great day yesterday. More continuation here today. Lion having a day. The Lions roar. Let's go. Seeing some stuff pull here. Some of the small caps are pulling. Ondas, Velo pulling. I'm also seeing Goldman Sachs pulling. SpaceX is still trading lower. Costco to the highs. Apple to the highs.
Retro Fermi is dropping. That's fine. I want to see what it does when it gets closer to 5. we have 0 closes on the monthly chart under 5. So I'm waiting to see if there's some support down there around that level. I did trim on this recent upside move that we had, and now I'm just waiting for it to come back in. Trading around a core position, Fermi. So that's what I'm waiting for next, just to see if we get that support that we've been shown to have down here at 5.
Okay, so 5, the next level there. We're about 58 cents away there on Fermi. Let's take a quick peek here at Moderna. Let's see what that is doing. Oh, come on, chart. Don't give me these problems here today. Yeah, here's Moderna. It's fine. Moderna's starting to trade back up. So a little break of structure from the pre-market. This might be going to the highs. I got 133-ish for your resistance level from the pre-market there. By the way, S&P futures continue to come in a little bit. SPY is beneath its VWAP. S&P futures just slightly above the VWAP there. Also, good mention here from Nikhil regarding Micron and SanDisk, 2 of our other pretty big movers here. Those were both green. They have gone green to red here. Micron trying to hold yesterday's intraday lows as we speak. Here's what SanDisk looks like.
Look at
SanDisk
RDAC.
still above it as well. Sorry?
Look at RDAC. It dropped initially out of the gate, and now it's ripping. Looks like this might try to go to 20.
Okay, RDAC right through that VWAP too, on that halt.
It's still trading.
No, with the first halt that it came up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might go into another halt now.
And by the way, Femi, so that trade was very, very quick. That might be over, at least for the time being. Femi coming all the way back in now. Maybe it finds some support here, 270-ish, but we cracked beneath the VWAP. Selling looks to be accelerating here, FEMY.
Let's take a look at this.
Marvell maybe starting to put in a bounce here. SpaceX puts are going off. Bloom Energy puts going off. Well, those Bloom Energy puts are 175. Yep.
So with Femi, the price went right down to the previous resistance from the pre-market, which is about 270, 275.
Yep.
If you look at the 905 and the 915 candles, they were trying to get through that 270, 275 area, and then finally the next candle broke through it. Now we're using it as support. We might be able to turn around here if the volume doesn't fade. As long as we have good volume, I think we can turn around and come back up to VWAP.
Okay, let's keep an eye on that volume here. So far, it's holding this 13. High of the pre-market candle, 272. MSS getting mentioned here in the chat. We haven't looked at that. That's Mason Solutions. That actually moved through the VWAP. We'll see if this gets above the pre-market high. It's a good mention there, Jay. And then EKS mentioning some of those momentum names like Corning. That's down another 3.3% here, right? Yep, Corning at the lows. This actually took out yesterday's intraday lows. This doesn't look great.
I have levels for MSS from the last time that we traded.
Okay, I'll go back to it.
Yeah, 3 is one of them, even though we only hit 288 in the pre-market. 3 looks like one level here, and then of course I have 4 afterwards. So there's a couple of upside levels. I've got more beyond that if we start climbing higher. But you also have a bit of a trend line here from the highs in the after hours yesterday going into the pre-market. So that kind of gives us a secondary area of or a secondary level to shoot for here. You see what I'm talking about in the on the chart for MSS in the after hours. So you have the 440 high, and then you have the pre-market high.
Yep, right. I see them. Yeah.
So those two just have a trend line go through those, and you extend it out to where the current price action is, and that gives us a target beyond 4. Don't know if we're going to end up getting that, but look at the price right now. We're coming up to smooch with $3 here.
One more thing here. Wiss mentioning careful with MSS. HRT will jump. Quick peek at the insiders here. HRT sold 61% of their position. That is as of yesterday. So they still have shares left. There's still more to sell here. But Wiss, that's a good mention there.
Yep, another one by HRT.
And
so there you go.
There's
your 3. There's your 3. It actually hit 307. So there's your 3. Would expect that after this hit, we maybe back off a little bit. But if we can hold, I guess, maybe the 250, 260 area, we might be able to push back up higher through 3, unless we just do it here. It looks like it's just continuing to go higher. But I think this needs to cool off after this attempt to go through 3. And if we, as long as we don't lose, I would say 245, 250, we might be able to see the other side of 3 and hold it if we revisit it next.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Take care, Lion. Have a good day.
Take care of yourself, Lion. Let's give Lion a Trump comment right before he leaves. Let's see what we're going to be dealing with later here. Oh, wow. This is negative. Tonight, we're going to slap sanctions on Ukraine. It's been a total disaster over there. Market hates it, -9. Lion, be careful. Get ready for this, okay?
That's not happening. Get out of here with that.
That was just for Lion. That was just for Lion. All right, MSS, this is good stuff there. Looks like it's running into resistance at 3. We are starting to see some bounce back in some of these names, Ondas, but also SpaceX. Let's take a look and see where SpaceX is at in accordance with yesterday. There you go, Lion. Had to send you out with a smile on your face. SpaceX holding yesterday's low.
For now.
Yeah, so 140 looks to be the spot there that we're going to need to defend here today. By the way, Tesla call still sweeping here.
I was asked what a stupid level was for Lilly. If it's making all-time highs, it's not going to have one. I'll look and see if I can see any. But if it's, usually when you get stupid levels, it's these really junky names that have been beaten down, and all of the EMAs and everything are still above it. So when you have a stock that's breaking out into new all-time highs, I don't have stupid levels because it's already there. It's already making stupid levels. So I don't unfortunately have anything for Lilly. Maybe 1,300. It could, a nice round number could be the next psychological resistance level before it comes back in. That would be my guess, though. I don't have any stupid levels for Lilly, unfortunately. And now look at MSS. We finally got that cooling off we needed, coming right down to where we needed it to, the 251 area. So if this holds, then the next visit up towards 3 might result in a breakout.
And also VRAX getting mentioned here in the chat. We got a trend line from the pre-market candle highs. This is running into resistance right there on VRAX.
RDAC open and higher, coming up to the highs of the after hours. I think it was, no, I'm sorry, the pre-market.
Pre-market, yep.
So here we go with this no reason it's moving other than it's a SPAC, and I don't know if there's any news, but I speculated on what the news could be, and if that's the case, then I can understand why it's going. Let's see if there's any news since then. Nope, nothing since Friday. So.
Yeah, the only thing I had on there was a 13G. Barclays taking a 6.74% stake.
Yeah, and my speculation was maybe they finally are going to close this deal because, as I was mentioning earlier, they've extended that deal out at the closing of it for a while because they approved the deal in November, and this continues to be delayed. So. There's got to be something coming with here, but all you have to do is look at the price action the last time it did this and just understand, not want to stick around and just trade it, don't own it.
Okay, Target getting mentioned here. EKS, they reported earnings here today. This is interesting too. Target initially went lower off the open, but now green to red. Red to green, but this is higher by 5+% on the back of its earnings. That's Target. Lowe's also reported today. That was lower. That has gone red green as well. So there is definitely some strength here post that open. We'll see if it continues.
And MSS just came back up and tapped 3. Hasn't moved through it yet. We'll wait and see what it ends up doing. Jamie Will, you should copyright stupid level.
Yeah, you should. You really should there.
Okay, I'll look into that. I mean, if I got something that can actually prove what they are and say they're dumb, it's a level that it shouldn't go up to, but it did. It's stupid. Anyway, I'll look into it. Just waiting to see what we do here with MSS. Femi looking for some support from that area we were talking about. Unfortunately, it's lower than that support area, so 65 EMA might be the next one with that.
That's, sorry to interrupt here, but the SPY bounce that we were kind of talking about, that's actually rolled over here. I have a bear trend in the Qs. I have a bear trend in the SPY, although that's a little bit choppy. Qs are plunging here. I don't have a break of structure to the downside, so I'm not sure it's the right time to enter puts here, but we are continuing to come in a little bit here. Stupid level app would be fantastic. We could work on that. I could work with 13 on building that.
I could tell you what to do with.
Yeah, we could do that
for it.
We could do that as kind of a weekend side project.
It can be stupid levels or 13's pivot points. I don't know. Whatever we want to talk about.
Hey man, just have that be a study that automatically plots on the in the broker. That'd be awesome. Okay, really quick. So this S&P sell-off here is continuing. The S&P futures actually did breach the VWAP, so those are moving lower. We'll see if we get a bounce anytime soon here. SPY approaching the lower VWAP standard deviation band.
Looks like YJ is getting some support from the VWAP. If volume starts to get better, there might be a trade here, but I don't like the chart right now, and the price action doesn't look great. So it wouldn't surprise me if this struggled to recapture 475. This might end up coming in some more if it can't do that.
All right. The bot actually did take there we go. Bot took a trade in the QQQ puts. Took the 715 0 DTE puts. And then Moderna's pushing higher. I keep telling myself to go check on that stock just to make sure we stay on top of it, but we shall see.
Where is that one from yesterday? There it is. Okay, so that one not having a good day.
Which one?
Oh, IPST. It was trading up in the pre-market, and then when we opened, we just completely dumped. So this is why I was saying, just keep an eye on it, not necessarily just jump into this thing and go and take it for a ride, because just wanted to see if it would provide some more trades. So far, that trade has been bearish. Now let's look and see what other stuff's doing. Okay, so MSS making another visit down to potentially the VWAP again.
Okay, so, really quick, bot took half profit on that QQQ trade. I'll let you know if it fills the rest here.
Copart's still climbing, but it's starting to slow down. Let's see. Netflix boom. Is that finally making some new highs here? Or not new highs, but recovering some of their levels? Let's see. Oh, that's a nice movement here this morning. Looking for 80, it seems.
Which one? Marvell? Oh, sorry.
No, Netflix.
NFLX. Got it.
You got a silver cross happening here in Netflix. That's going to, looks like that's going to happen tomorrow. Man, that could result in some prints, maybe up towards. I hope we can get through this sideways consolidation from June.
Sorry,
then that would be 85.
Really quick, bot closed that was perfect. Let's go, bot. Bot closed the trade on the Q puts. 5 contracts, $326. That trade is all wrapped up. This is exactly what I wanted to see out of the 0 DTE strategy. If I can get a consistent week on this, the size goes up.
RDAC is open. 22.28 is the high it popped up to. It's looking like it's going to start to see some selling. We have VWAP. I have VWAP at 18.16, so that could be one area of support. If not there, then it may end up finding support down closer to $16.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you. I'll ring that up for myself. I'm focusing so much on getting this bot to be able to trade any day's market conditions. Today is another step closer to that. Thank you very much, Alan. We're having a really good day here today. And I just want to take a really quick sec here. 13, I want to thank you. And I want to thank everyone in the chat, not only for spending time with us here today, but I'm very, very happy to see all of the kind words that come out when we bring on a guest and they share something personal about their life. I can't tell you how proud that made me, that all of you folks were really kind about that. Please keep that up. Keep that positive energy flowing. I'm sorry, 13. I felt like I interrupted you there, but it felt like we needed to talk about that.
No, it's fine. think I was only looking at MSS. It traded lower down toward the next support area of 230. Looks like we got a little bit lower than that, 227. Trying to get back up to VWAP here, but there is a seller in the way now at 250. So we'll see if he gets chewed up or if that resistance that he's providing is strong enough.
Interesting. Go Steve. Copart is interesting. I use them because I work in claims and auto accidents. I wonder if the higher value in ACVs are leading to profits for them, or what the deal is that they're doing well. Steve, we are a big fan here of boots on the ground reporting. If you come up with anything that you think could help our group or that thesis at all, please feel free to share. No wrong answers here. If you're working in the industry and you have some insight there, we are interested in hearing that.
Yes, sir.
So really good stuff. Knapp says, Ryan earlier today proved that we all still have some humanity. Indeed, Knapp. I can really appreciate that. I'm glad you're here, buddy. You too, Shant. And Sal and everyone else, really.
All right. So looks like Femi is trying to recover, but volume is not great. RDAC halted to the downside. YJ trying to continue to get support from VWAP. This one might try to turn around here, although I'm not 100% sure it's going to do that. The chart just doesn't look that great to me. So,
sorry,
I was going to say there might be a brief attempt to recapture the 460 area, but and I don't know that it's going to end up doing that.
VRAX, we talked about this in the trend line. This is through the trend line now. It's actually through that first pre-market high. We'll see if it can get up towards that other pre-market high. That's going to be up here, 465 VRAX. Barb says the entire AI basket is on the plunge. This is what we saw yesterday, right? We saw some of the AI momentum names really kind of come in, but RSP holding steady. In fact, I haven't even looked at that today. Let's do that. Let's take a look at the RSP. How about that? RSP is higher. S&P is still holding on to green by about 0.3. This is much higher. Well, 1.5% to the upside. So, Barb, this tracks with the AI trade really kind of pulling back a little bit here.
Somebody was at WIS. So I don't think when it comes to CISS that some of the levels that I see here are necessarily going to qualify for a stupid quite yet, because it looks like there may be a chance that this climbs up into the 8 handle. So I'm looking beyond that for stupid levels. So just give me a second and I'll tell you what I see. But it looks like there could be a possibility that this climbs up towards 8. No guarantee, just it kind of looks that way. As far as stupid levels, maybe 37. That's one stupid level that I see. Let me double check and see if there's anything else. I think that would be the stupid level. The ridiculous level, but still possibly achievable, is going to be 8. That looks like an interesting level that we might get up there, we might not, but it looks like that's way more achievable than the 37. So there's your stupid level 37. If we even get close to 8, if we start clearing 8, then maybe we can start taking a closer look at that stupid level.
And just to reiterate here, these levels are for MSS.
No, this is for CISS.
Okay, I was going to say, I was like, man, the stupid levels are like becoming more and more extended. If that's the case, stock's $2. We're talking about 8 and 30. CISS, not that much more. I mean, a $4 stock. We'll see what we end up getting out of that. Oh, man, that's good stuff. That is good stuff.
For CBRS, is it 173? Let me look.
I'm going to actually go to the bigger chart here on Cerberus. We'll take a look at that.
Well, no, because the stupid low. Oh, stupid low. Well, I mean,
do those stupid levels go low? I thought those were only for higher levels.
I mean, they're only for upside levels, but stupid low. I mean, every stock could potentially be worth nothing. So there's your stupid low is 0. 173. Since you're asking about that, let me look and see if there's anything interesting there about it. I mean, other than it's like, near some of these all-time lows of the stock. It's a support area. It looks like it could be a support area, but I don't see anything really beyond that at the moment for CPRS at 173. And stupid levels are like, ridiculous intraday prices.
Here,
it might go to.
I love what Trevor did here. Trevor asked Gemini. Gemini said the term stupid level is often used in gaming, internet culture, or casual conversation. This completely tracks because 13 is adept at all three of those. And it's used to describe something that is extremely high, absurd, or ridiculous. Sounds about right there, to be quite honest with you. That is perfect.
There you are. Thank you very much for that, Trevor.
Trevor, good stuff, my man.
So Carlos, I think Advanced Auto Parts was one of the ones that we looked at with that Copart theme. So, that ASIO, O'Reilly, Napa, they all, I think, they fit well into that theme of people wanting to switch to used cars, older cars, and for one of the reasons they are much easier and cheaper to fix compared to these newer vehicles that require you to pull out the entire goddamn engine to get to a bolt.
Nikhil's asking, what would my levels be for Apple this week? I don't think my levels change on a week-to-week basis. Perhaps there's a new one. We're at a pretty key Apple level, though. Take a look at this. We're basically right at the 20-day moving average. We're also basically right at the top end of this potential gap fill, which fills up at 332-ish. This is actually pretty gappy up to 338-ish. So remember what Mark Petrino tells us all the time. When you have these big gaps on the chart, not a whole lot of people in here. Apple is actually strong today. This is what the intraday chart looks like. It's basically straight up on, I don't want to say great volume, but decent buying volume here. We have a potential gap fill coming on Apple.
Yeah, I see that. Price is also getting support from the 20-week SMA. Let me look and see if there's anything else that would make me concerned with that, because I think it's great. We have no closes above on a monthly basis, and no closes above 312. Really, we've just wicked. So I think that 312 area, if we can close this month above it, I think that would be bullish. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So here's to the monthly chart just for the visual aid. It looks like you want this candle to close. I mean, we still got some time here, and we have the NVIDIA earnings, which is likely going to affect Apple. We have more than a full week here, but I see what you mean about this candle closing and being bullish.
That May candle, that May candle is the highest close we've had on a monthly chart for Apple. So I would like to see the price close above that. I think that's bullish if it does.
Okay. All right, there you go on Apple. There you go on Apple. I'm going to go back to the main workspace. We got about 28 minutes here before story trading. Don't forget, we got story trading and the drift here today. We should have great content for you all day here. I just want to thank everyone again for hanging out with us and supporting what we're doing here. Really, really good stuff.
Copart's still climbing.
Apple calls going off, Tesla calls going off, Apple printing new highs. Palo Alto is hit. Palantir gave everything back. So some of you folks mentioned Palantir earlier today. This had a nice move right out of the open, gave everything back already.
Let's see if that ran into some resistance, because I think I have some levels up here. Oh, that's pretty close. Let me go to my daily chart. Didn't quite hit a trend line I had, but came very, very close this month. Looks like 180 is the big resistance level, and I got a level marked off at 181. Maybe I should drop that down a bit, but 180 appears to be the spot where it did on 180. Look at the past several trading days up here. Monday, August 10th.
Oh yeah,
rejected there, and then Thursday and Friday last week also rejected there. So I'm thinking 180 is a pretty tough spot. A lot of sellers up there. Let's look at the left and see if we see any large consolidation zones. Hey, what do you know? That's where all of the sellers are.
Oh yeah. I think you're spot on with that 180. Retro here saying, give me a nice Palantir pullback for a reentry. Retro, what area are you looking to add Palantir on a pullback? Maybe like this area, 160, 165? That kind of tracks for me. Let me know what you think on that.
Yeah, I mean, 170 is now a support level. Well, it's resistance since we're trading underneath it, but 170 is a support level. That was previously resistance. If you look at the sideways consolidation from back in 2025, this is a big support level for a lot of days. Didn't spend a whole lot of time underneath it, but when we did finally break down beneath it and couldn't recapture, we haven't revisited it since this month. Until this month we did. So 170 is a big spot. We lose that, okay, then it looks to be like your next support is going to be down closer to 160, which was also just a previous resistance we broke out of recently.
That's the one that I see here. That 161 really kind of stands out to me. Shout out to the 170. Also, Retro saying mid 150s on that. Okay.
Yeah, there is some support in there too. Mm-hmm. All right, so Femi making a move up towards its VWAP right now. RDAC, this is the SPAC, the Chinese SPAC. This popped up to 22.28 and sold off, went as low as 16.43. Now it's recaptured VWAP. Might go on another run here. This could be one of the ones that gets taken for a ride. I don't know for a fact, or if I don't feel 100% comfortable leaning on this one as the potential runner. But if it starts to put in those moves, then we can revisit it and take a closer look. But there might be another one that puts in a better move here. So I'm just keeping an eye on things.
The volume still looks pretty good here on RDAC. To me, it looks like this 2021 area is really what it's got to break to move higher. It's testing 20 as we speak. So looking around here, so the S&P did come in from that high push, but it did hold VWAP. It's kind of wicking down to the VWAP. I think there's a little bit of indecision right now. I do have a kind of a bearish look in the Qs, and we do have a lower high and a lower low. We don't yet have a break of structure, but that's something to watch here on the Qs. Might be another down move coming if we end up losing that.
Copart climbing. Chewy's doing good today. Coming up to some highs from earlier this month.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, Net Power is down closer to where I'd like to see Net Power come closer to 150. It seems to get some really good support around the 150 area and then turn around and make a nice upside move. So I'm waiting for Net Power to come in some more.
We might want to cover this here real quick. Scott's asking, what are the stupid levels for Moderna? Let me postulate something to you, 13. Very much like the floating island formation that I absolutely love. I don't technically call it a floating island if it's not a break to a new high. In other words, if I look to the left and I see price levels, I don't give it the same weighting as a traditional floating island that's broken into like a blue sky breakout. With Moderna here, we have this huge move, so I'm sure you could find some trend line or moving average that calculates a stupid level to you. But the question that I have is, we have a ton of price history if you look to the left here. Mm-hmm. Do you think, and this is your thing, so there's no wrong answer here, do you think that the stupid levels apply if we have this much price history when we look to the left?
Well, my stupid levels are essentially moving averages that we don't have really here above the current price.
So I think go ahead. Sorry.
I could lean on the previous support and resistance levels, and we could identify those as stupid levels. And but when I say stupid levels, remember it's something that has to happen in a very relative short period of time. So like intraday, If let's say, for example, if MRNA is going to have a stupid level, maybe 220, I would say a 360 is a stupid level for MRNA. If it got back up there to where it was in 2021 today, that would be stupid. That'd be ridiculous.
Okay.
So
stupid levels seem relative
Yes. Yeah. Stupid levels, they kind of have to happen, intraday or in the next day in order for it to really be done, because it's a very massive move in a short period of time that almost make no sense. And a lot of times they don't make any sense. That's why it's stupid. But as far as the trend line goes, since you brought that up, yes, Moderna has a massive trend line. You can go to a monthly and probably it'll jump out at you. But this trend line that we snapped is a trend line that's been around since 2022.
So it doesn't start all the way at the top, does it? It starts right here. Yeah.
I would start with the December 2022 high and the May 2024 high.
Yep.
Now draw it in both directions, even back toward the other way, so you can see that it's been providing price support and resistance since going back to 2021. So this is a significant break out of a trend line that
sure is.
And there could be a back test of this. Where does that back test occur? Could be significantly lower from here. But if we do get that back test and we hold that trend line, this trend line that we just drew, then I think we're certainly going to be seeing 200s, 300s in the future.
Okay.
So lots of boxes still have to check. Coming up to some resistance, but if we get this support from the trend line, we're going higher.
Okay, and actually, this second blue line that you see on my intraday chart here. This is that trend line. So it actually looks like Moderna at that first impulse move went to it, consolidated, and then blew through it. So just FYI on that trend line, I think we already have evidence that this trend line is working. So just as an aside there.
RDAC halted to the downside now.
About to leave, but my levels on Moderna. Thank you, Big Bees. Let me throw this on the screen. Big Bees, we appreciate you. Have a great day, by the way. My levels on Moderna: 142.79, 156.75, 163.24, and 166.86, and then 178.74 and 187.59. Try those out, Big Bees.
I think just plug those right into your chart.
Joe's asking, Ryan, could you say something about how you perceive what Mark Petrino would say about the chart? I can, but I think that what we should do is we should also ask Mark about that on Friday, right? So day after tomorrow, maybe we should ask Mark about what he sees on that. Also, we're going to have more data to figure out kind of where that goes for them. But looking at this right now, Mark generally sticks to a daily chart. Let me back out here. Mark would probably be saying that I would guess that Mark would be looking at 169 as a level, and then probably also at 217 as a level.
Daniel is asking SpaceX 137. Any thoughts? My thought is that if it loses 135, the IPO price, then we are certainly coming in lower.
Go ahead. Sorry. No. You finish up. I thought you were done.
We were also talking yesterday about how we were looking at a double top in SpaceX. So if that is the case, then we should see this price come in much more significantly. I can give you a measurement here, but go ahead, Ryan.
Okay. One more thing I wanted to add to Moderna. I want to thank Adam Mesh again for this. Remember, we talked about some of these stocks that have options that aren't yet printed. It's a quick note on what I mentioned last week with options. Moderna for this week only has options until 120, which means there's no hedge or puts for shorts after that, which should accelerate the move. Remember, Adam talked about this with us last week. He's reminding us Moderna actually fits that. Shout out to Adam for that reminder there. Good stuff.
So SpaceX, if we lose 135, 120 seems pretty likely. Now, we are also, I'm going to double check this too. Another 7% tranche unlocks tomorrow. That's the 70-day tranche of SpaceX shares. Let me double check that because I want to make sure I've got the tranche dates correct.
Interesting. So if that's the case, it seems like, or it feels like at least, people are unloading before that.
Okay, so yes, approximately 319 million shares held by investors and insiders are free to trade tomorrow.
This feels like a lightning into that event. I can't help it. But
that's a good question, Retro, and I don't have the answer to it, but it's a good question. It's a good question. How many stops are at 135? Don't want to go below the IPO price, but I think we are going below the IPO price.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see stops there, to his point.
It looks like there was a broader market pull that just happened.
It looks like kind of a slow move down. I'm looking at the 1 minute on the SPY. I guess the Q's actually pushed lower here. So tech, it looks like pushed lower.
Yes. Yeah. Tech certainly getting, pulled down more than the others, but it just looked like everything was showing up with a red candle. I think there's a broader pull in the market. Anyway. AZI.
What happened? What did I miss?
He said AZI. It's
a China name. Gotcha.
And it's a China name, and it's rising. It's up 32%. Looks like they actually had news, so that's great. They received investment of $30 million from multiple investors.
Okay. GB Slice mentioning Bitcoin back at the highs, GB Slice. So too is Apple, by the way. I know we talked about that one earlier as well.
Yeah, and this is also an auto parts and auto accessories company, AZI. So maybe there's a relationship trade happening here with, when it comes to Copart and all those. But this company also has recently said it intends to pursue acquisition of space economic exposure as a strategic treasury asset. I think that's going to be something you also see a lot of across a lot of these China names, is that they are going to start taking some of the really big U.S. names, particularly SpaceX, as a treasury asset. I don't think
Joe mentioning not all of tech is getting hit. Some software sectors are up bigly. It's interesting too, because my bot took a trade on Microsoft, which kind of tracks with what you're talking about. And yeah, you guys mentioning that gold is ripping. I think Lion was on that earlier. Gold and silver ripping earlier, weren't they? This is actually this is at the highs of the day. This is a good mention here. So VIX is about flat. Market is up and gold is up here today. Gold's up 3%. This is up more than the market. That makes me wonder if we're going to reverse at some point today.
Inflationary fears. Man, I guess I missed my opportunity in Wheaton again.
WPM, huh?
Mm-hmm. I just, haven't been looking at these metals plays. I just have to extend the trend line. We just snapped that. We're going back up to some of these April highs. Good stock. All right.
Prediction, Zach, this actually kind of tracks here. Prediction, data centers will drop until the midterms. They're not as liked by the public, and politicians won't push them too much until then. Zach, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Great idea.
Yeah.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, you guys weren't kidding about some of those software names. Look at Microsoft.
Where is it at? Let's see. Oh,
484.
This hasn't come back down to the support that I'd like to see it come down to. I want to see this come back, go to 465, get support there, and then turn around, and then we can just go on a crazy rip higher. That would be the most ideal price action in Microsoft, in my view. Because that's about where the 20-day SMA is. 465 is formerly resistance, now it's support, and we are getting pretty close to having a golden cross occur. So all these indicators combined make me a little bit excited about where Microsoft's headed, but I do want to see that 465 support happen.
See what we get here on Microsoft. I actually haven't noticed any options. I do see a single call sweep in here. That's actually a big call sweep, though. 1,000 contracts, 485s. That's for today. That's a 0 DTE.
I don't know Buffalo Bicycle if it used to be Silver Wheaton. I can check.
Helene, take care of yourself. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for your support here today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we see you tomorrow. Good day today.
Yes.
Good day today.
Buffalo is the correct. It was Silver Wheaton Corp formerly, and it changed its name in May 2017.
So Whitney's asking if Moderna, I was wondering if we were going to get this. Whitney asking if Moderna is a good swing trade. So here's the thing. This news could be very, very good for like the future of humanity. And so I understand the impetus there. Massive struggle recommending anybody buy something, especially a big cap, up 144%. I would wait this one out personally. That's just me. I don't listen to me though. I mean, figure out your own trade plan. That's what we're here to do. I like the news. I think this is good. This is a stock that I've hated. That this news makes me think that there's actually something great here. But boy, oh boy, up 144%. This is not the time to buy. I'll quote Jay Rice, who's not here today. If you're buying today, you're doing it wrong.
This is the day you want to sell. If you're buying anything, maybe puts. Look at the RSI. That's not sustainable. This is about as high as the RSI gets with this name. You just have to look at the past and see what happened the last time the RSI was up at these levels. I mean, the most recent one was May 2024, and it went as high as like 165, and then it came right back in and hasn't been back up there since. So, to Ryan's point, just be very careful. This is not the time to be getting this, and this looks better to the downside than it does to the upside at this stage.
And Kennard, that's not a bad idea either. If you want to sell puts because you're okay being assigned the stock because of its future prospects, might be another way to do it.
CISF.
Shant says, I would buy clove if I had powder. Let me ask you a follow-up question. Is the reason you don't have powder because you own a ton of clove? Question mark? You have to let me know. All right, IWM, bearish trend. There is an edge in that. It's made lower lows and lower highs, and it's had a break of structure down. Puts look good, IWM.
And, you know, we could continue to see more of this up into NVIDIA earnings, and then maybe the real downside move begins. I'm just going off some seasonality with NVIDIA. In the past several years, it trades sideways or lower after its Q2 earnings. So I don't see a reason to think that it's going to be different. Meanwhile, Chewy, over $24 now, still climbing. So if it's not a tech name, it's probably doing pretty good. Moderna sniffing out 160.
Moderna's straight up, and Adam Mesh's comment there about being past the options there should give it more juice to the upside. So far, that is exactly what we're seeing.
And our DAC is down at the consolidation area from the pre-market before we opened, going into a halt. Be curious to see if there's any support there coming, but it's a junk.
Uh-oh. Is that me?
It's a SPAC, so it's already
junk. No, it
but
cut out there, and I thought maybe my internet was going. That's all. But you're back. You're good. You sound fine.
Let's see. Just looking at Comcast, see how their stock's doing. They're up. So
13, I love it. Oh, 13, I absolutely love it.
It's funny too because this is up at its 200-day SMA. So this kind of makes it an interesting, resistance area. It's also at a former support from October of 2022. Wouldn't be surprised if we got a rejection here in CMCSA.
All right, 7 minutes left until the story trading, folks. Let's take a look around. Ondas bouncing finally. Goldman Sachs, no chill. Costco still at the highs. Apple still at the highs. Palo Alto. So I know, we've talked about the kind of the AI trade, tech maybe being a little bit weak here. Haven't really talked so much about cybersecurity. Palo Alto down 6%, straight down out of the open.
Lots of AI fears.
Yep.
And I think that's just a great mention about the midterms, though. And I kind of get the sense that a lot of tech is going to be. It could even be the same thing with crypto. Meanwhile, BM&R having a nice day.
Yeah, I would imagine Ethereum doing well with Bitcoin here today, and then BM&R on the back of that, obviously.
It's BM&R over the past few days here has struggled to get above 19. So I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see some more of that here today, where we just run up to 19. We just actually came pretty close, 1893. If we run up to 19 and this get rejected there, see if that ends up happening. That'd be 3 days in a row, which isn't good. Meta is bouncing. Gross. Let's see here. Yeah, Meta, I'm still thinking you need to touch 520 again, maybe even break beneath it. Out of all the Mag 7s, Meta is the one I like the least.
Yeah, same with me. I think long term, I like this one the least as well.
I don't like. Their last earnings report I think was very telling. One of the things that we've been talking about with them is how they are keeping a lot of talent locked up in their company, just paying them, and they're not doing a lot. The company has a lot of bureaucracy. Nobody knows what each other does. And now with their, I think they had negative EPS. I think that's a result of not just the overspending from CapEx, but also having to buy shares back that they issued to their employees as part of employee-based compensation. I think Meta's got some issues under the hood.
Now, don't forget that had that whole Manus fallout earlier too. Yep. So there's a lot of stuff going on at Meta. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like Meta, and the chart I don't even like. I mean, this thing to me, I think Meta should be closer to probably under $400. I think it should be under $400. Sorry if that's something that nobody wants to hear, but that's my opinion. It might be a bad one, but that's what I think. I think Meta should be under $400.
Alan says Meta down to 300 over the next year. Too much spending.
I'm fine with that too. Alan, we can be friends.
Tinan, this was one of our movers earlier. We've actually traded this one before. Let's check in and see how this is doing. All right, so this is still up near the pre-market highs. This is actually kind of hasn't done a whole lot here today. You've been better off with some of the big caps today.
One of Tim Melvin's names, Rig, is undergoing a slow but steady move up here from hitting the 584 low. Just one of the ones that I caught someone he was saying, so I was like, oh, I'll keep this one on my radar. I was Rig.
He thinks this one could be a potential 10 bagger.
Wow.
So
okay, well, maybe it's worth just to get a little piece of that then. It seems like a pretty slow day despite everything moving the way it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at the SPY here, and actually, let me bring it up. We can look at it together. I'm looking at the SPY here, and this just looks choppy to me. I mean, we had the impulse move this morning, and it's basically just been chopping around in a range there.
Yeah, so you got U.S. Treasury announces increased size of nominal long and liquidity support buybacks. That was something you guys were mentioning earlier. Effective September 9th. So there you go. That is your runway. Cantor lets hedge funds place big bets on Kalshi's prediction markets. So you've got big money coming into prediction markets. big money. How do you feel about that?
I'm indifferent to it, to be honest with you. I don't use the prediction markets, so I feel like I'm insulated, but I guess I don't really care for big funds allowing people to gamble on prediction markets. Doesn't sound great on the surface.
I don't like it because if it's money over there, it's not money here.
Yeah.
I don't. So that would be
That's
my
a good
big
point.
issue.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even GIS is moving. So I think those consumer brands you're going to see perform better when you have tech selling off and not doing as well. I think the consumer facing, as you know, because as the AI facing trades don't do well, the consumer facing trades tend to do better.
That's a theme that we've actually been talking about for some time here too. You know, I wonder how Campbell's Soup is to CPB, right? CPB.
Yeah, and Dollar General's up.
So even Campbell's is up. This stock can barely get out of its own way, up 1.3% here today. Although it is coming back in.
Colgate's up slightly. Pepsi's up slightly. Coke is up slightly. I mean, they're all all the consumer brands are doing better on a day like this when tech is selling off.
EYPT, we talked about this from the bad data that it got, the huge fallout. This is actually grinding back up slowly here. EYPT back in the 6s.
Oh yeah, that's a great mention. ConAgra, that's up 3%. Nice mention there. And got to look at Tyson. Tyson back to flirting with 60. And he also closed 2 beef plants and put up a third up for sale last week. So they are trying to de-leverage their beef operations as there is a cattle shortage.
Tesla, big green move up. That thing has been sweeping all day. Since the open, I've been calling out the unusual options on Tesla. It's still going off right now, even as we make this move here. Remember, there was that huge 1,000 contract 0 DTE buy on Tesla earlier. Here it is, new highs on Tesla. Good mention there.
You know, Kilborn, I think that's the case because before prediction markets, it was crypto.
Oh, shit.
Everybody was on crypto. Sorry.
13, we're over time. I'm sorry. Quick closing word for the group here. Ben and Rhett, I'm sorry, guys. Quick closing words for the group here, 13.
Hey, have fun with the next show, everybody. Sorry I went over. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.
All right. Really good stuff, 13. Have a great one. We will see you tomorrow. 13's departure leaves room for Ben and Rhett. Guys, formally, I'm sorry. I lost track of time there as we were saying goodbye. What do you got going on?
Well,
tell me you were long Moderna.
No, I was long gold though, but I sold all my gold options right at the open and it keeps pumping, man. So I'm green for today because I was long gold. Look at this high a day. I had a 413, 412 target on gold. Here it is, 412. Right, you got to put an alert out that gold is at our 412 target. But I sold it like 409.5. I didn't wait for my target because yesterday I was down so big on gold. And does that ever happen to you, Ryan? Where you're like, you have a swing target for something, and then it like goes against you for a day or two, and then you're like so depressed, and oh my god, this is terrible. I'm losing so much money. And then like the next second, it's like up a little bit. You're like, oh, thank God, I got out with a small gain. And then it goes on to hit your target, and you would have made a massive amount of money.
So this actually happened last week when you joined. We were talking, I believe, about MBIS.
Yeah.
MBIS had made a huge move, and then it came in, and it looked like it was going to come in some more. My bot was actually trading it at the time, and it sold it for a very, very small loss. And I was like, okay. And then it just went crazy. It went like right at, now that wasn't a swing trade, that was a day trade, but that's happened plenty of times. Yeah. All right, I'll get out of your hair here. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, cool. So we definitely got a theme here today in the market. We definitely have directionality and a very clear rotation. What's going on? Rhett, how you doing? I don't understand the mechanics or the real implication of it, but about the Treasury buying more bonds. I don't know how those operations work, but all I know is that you buy bonds, rates go down. You see that in CLT going up over here, back above the 20 DMA. And when that happens, rate sensitive areas like IWM go up. Look at IWM just soaring today. Home Depot, another good one to look at is the Nail ETF, which I'm in right now. This is 3 times long housing. That's the theme for today. That's what's happening. It's basically on lower rates. We have gold, IWM, and housing up. And it looks like it's just up and to the right all day. You also have oil continuing to go up on the Iran war. Oxy coming towards your 61 to 62 target. And it looks like they may be selling AI, maybe not for any real reason other than just to raise money to buy this other sector. I mean, that's a dynamic I've been seeing this year since the SpaceX IPO. These crazy rotations, I think, are a function of everyone being fully invested, everyone being fully on margin. So if you want to buy gold, if you want to buy Home Depot, if you want to buy housing, the only way to do it is to sell something else. And I think that's what's happening today. Right, over to you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm seeing these money rotations. It's interesting to see, like they're calling out. It looks like a few names, like you guys are talking about, MBIS curling back up here. You have MU trying to curl back up here as well. So see what happens. It's that time where things start to turn around, 10:30. So we'll see from there. And then there's a few other names I'm watching too, but your Oxy's playing out very nice today with oil just
Yeah, although I was in the call options on and off the last couple of days, but I didn't swing them and I didn't get back in. I'm just in some common shares on Oxy. And MRNA, crazy. I mean, I was so late on this name. I'm still up a few thousand. It's just like with very little exposure. I mean, I only have 100 shares and I'm up like $4,000 on 100 shares. It's crazy how much you can make with like little exposure in the same right now. Technically at this point it's headed to 170. You can see that pretty clearly on the weekly chart. You know, I was really late on this morning because I thought it was an overreaction, but recognizing that there's 50 million shares short, you know, I jumped back in kind of very late, but it's an overreaction to the fundamentals. I mean, they're like, oh, they cured cancer. There's these numbers being thrown out, but the numbers are from phase 2B. The phase 3 trial, there's nothing. The only new information we have is phase 3 is statistically significant and clinically meaningful. They had this big, long PR, you know, throwing these numbers from phase 2B, but the only thing new was just the 4 words I told you: statistically significant, clinically meaningful. Nothing else new, and a date for when, or an event for when they're going to release the numbers. So to me, this is a way, you know, huge fundamental overreaction. Bless you, Rhett. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this gap fills at some point, maybe in the next few weeks. Maybe Moderna goes back to 85.60 as people realize, wait a second, this isn't really fundamentally warranted yet. This is just a short squeeze because people are misunderstanding, you know, how meaningful this data is. It is meaningful. It does deserve a re-rate for sure. You know, 88 makes sense. 89 makes sense. 160 is just people misunderstanding it and triggering a short squeeze, in my opinion. But I'm playing it now because it's a short squeeze, and why not? But the size is small because I don't believe that, again, it fundamentally deserves this magnitude of a re-rate at this point. But I mean, those are the stories today. It's wow, this oil continuing to move up, definitely a story. So you got oil and Oxy continuing to move up. We have TLT driving up IWM, housing, and rate sensitive sectors. We have the rotation out of AI to pay for that. And that's the story of the day.
Yep, it is.
I really should have. Why is it the one day I decide not to do Oxy calls? Oxy calls are so cheap all the time. One day I decide not to do it. The $60 calls are $1.18. I mean, they're still cheap. If this goes to my 62 target, you got 61 resistance and 62 gap fill target, and the RSI is not overbought yet.
Qs and everything really starting to go here. Get legs.
Yeah, the IWM would have been a nice dip buy. I'd be more interested in IWM than the Qs today because of the rate sensitivity. That would have been a nice dip buy at the 200 DMA. I'm currently long some Home Depot calls, 350 for this week, 347.50 maybe it was. Hold on. No, I got the 350s. And then look at IWM stretching. Wants to get a high day. Look at oil stretching at high day. Look at Oxy stretching at high day. Do I sell the last of my Moderna here? It's breaking this line, right? Maybe I will and get back in. It's probably going to 170, but I mean it's up 100 50%. So you know what? Let me bring the register here. All right, I'm all out of Moderna. I mean, I had a very small position and I was very late, and I still made $3,600 on this common shares. It's crazy.
Check out your GLD. Hit your target to the penny.
Yeah, we get. Can you alert
Or,
that?
well, yeah, I just
create
alerted.
alerts. Yeah, all out. I can't believe. You know how much money I left on the table? This is a big move from the open when I sold it like 4.9, another $3, and I had like 60 contracts, man. That would have been like another 15,000, 18,000 bucks if I kept them. Very, very upset about that. But yesterday I was just so distraught. I was down so much on gold. So I sold at the open. Anyway, I'm up for the week on it. The Dram's been difficult. Look at that. Now it's back up. I tried playing. Oh my god, you're right. The tech stocks are coming back.
Yeah, they're flying right now. I'm
Yeah,
watching.
you know what? Maybe I'm gonna try keys again. I don't know. I'm gonna try keys again down here after a really good earnings report. But where'd it go to? 317.48. I just hate this daily chart though. All right, I'm not gonna do size. Just get a few common shares. See if we can get a reversal out of this here. Oh, laptop's not joining us. Just the two of us today.
Yeah, it's just the two of us. Let me
Okay.
see. Oh yeah, Netflix. Izzy called that. That was a nice one.
Look at IWM. Wow. Let me see how the nail ETF is doing. Still in that. Oh, my computer seems really slow. I'm gonna have to reset at some point. Oh, okay. I do want to mention IDN, which I loaded up on this morning. So a little bit sleepy here. However, look at this daily chart. Big news this morning. Really big news. After it got destroyed on earnings, it's in the gap. Big news is they win. I don't like the Webull newsfeed. I gotta pull up Benzinga. Let's go to Benzinga Pro here. All right, here we go. Intellicheck expands into wealth management market as channel partner secures one of the world's largest investment management companies. New deployment highlights growing demand for their service. Major deployment secured a major deployment with one of the world's largest investment management companies. Someone who's closer to this company has put the pieces of the puzzle together. They think it's what was it? Was it Vanguard I mentioned? Let me just
Yeah, you said Vanguard.
Yeah, they think it's Vanguard. We continue to see strong momentum from a partnership. So this is a small company that's gotten killed and now has a huge deployment potentially with Vanguard. And when I look at the technicals here, I think this is a slam dunk to 350 to 360. Yeah. If it happens today, it could touch closer to 360. If it takes a day or two and the declining to 20 DMA, then maybe the target's going to be 350. So 350 to 360. I bought in the morning. I've been buying on dips. I've been buying on rips. I have a 10% allocation right now. And honestly, I wouldn't mind going 15 or even 20%. This just looks like a very clean, easy setup to 350 to 360. So if you're into micro caps, I'm into large caps, I'm into anything that makes me money. So I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate in size. Look at USO. Holy shit. All right. I'm going to increase Oxy. Should I finally get back into Oxy calls here? Let me try it. Oxy. Let me try the Oxy.
Try to find a good spread.
Oxy's, you can't do USO. The spreads are terrible on USO. So let me see. The 60 or 108. Yeah, I like this. I'm buying the 60s at $1.08. I hope I get filled at $1.08. Actually, let me see what I get filled at. I'm in at $1.10. Oops. All right, whatever. I got filled at higher than the ask. So look at that. Oil is ripping on absolutely no resolution in sight on the Iran war. Clear technical target of 61 to 62 on Oxy. And ooh, should I re-enter a little Moderna? I like that little look. All right, re-entering just 100 100 shares of Moderna here, 170 target. TLT still ripping. That should take HD and Nail. This should continue. I think HD and Nail are going to be up and to the right all day. We do have FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. And that can cause volatility, but I think the news this morning will overshadow any negativity that might come out of the minutes. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think that can change the direction for the day at 2 p.m.
Amazon. Wow, Amazon's flying here.
Oh, it had a perfect bounce yesterday off the 20 DMA. Was it Amazon that had that bounce?
Had another perfect bounce off it today as well.
Oh my God, there's another opportunity today. It's just it can't be everywhere. Can't be looking at everything. So yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful Amazon. Might have a lot more room actually. That's a really nice look. Might have a $2 or $3 more today. But I like Home Depot better because I have news. I have news for Home Depot. I don't really have news for Amazon.
Yeah.
Look at TLT, just relentless taking up IWM with it.
Look at all that. Jeez.
Yeah, Amazon's a good call out. I don't know if you play Amazon. Let me know. Maybe I'll follow you.
It's a little late for me to try to play it now. Let me see the daily.
Yeah, we should have. We had 2 chances to buy the 20 DMA yesterday and today. I was just not focused on it. 258, 259. Yeah, it's $4 off the 20 DMA. 2 chances. Oh well. But no, I really think this looks like a beautiful candle. I think this has a couple more dollars left. But I don't know. I don't really want to chase it without.
Looks like MU's getting rejected here off the 20 on the 5-minute.
MU was hard this morning. I lost money on that this morning. I bailed on it
here.
along with Dram. A little surprised. I thought that SK Hynix would push MU today. The buyback news. I did not get into Marvell. I almost got into it in pre-market. You know what? Probably better I didn't because this has been really bad, difficult price action. Unless you were really fast in the first few minutes and I saw the news late. It's been very hard since then. So probably a good thing I didn't get in.
You also popping up there again.
Look at that Amazon. Wow. Oh, come on, keys. Uh-oh. I may have to dump keys.
Thank you. I'm on the show.
I was trying to anticipate a breakout there, and you know what? Lately, it's really hard. I don't know. I don't want to bitch about it right now. I had a bitching session the other day, but the intraday volatility has been super hard lately.
Yeah, it really has been.
And you know, how many times has something like broken intraday resistance on whatever trend line you're looking at, and that ends up being a proximal high? Like they don't break out. It's like the intraday volatility, just like it's not following at least the lines I look at intraday. It has not been working. Constant, you know, fake outs, fake breakdowns, fake breakouts, crazy wide ranges. It's been very treacherous trading intraday. So that's why I'm like, let me not wait for the breakout, because if I buy the breakout, I'll probably buy at the high and it'll collapse. So I'm like, let me get in a little bit earlier. I was just thinking to myself, and then it didn't break out, and now it looks like it's breaking down. And if I sell it now, it's probably going to explode. It's just so hard lately intraday. I'll give it a little bit more room because my size is not that big. Look at Amazon still going, right?
I know. I guess I should have hopped in. I don't know. I'm just very hesitant today.
And we got a really good market tailwind today.
Yeah. Still just.
I upgraded from red alert to yellow alert in pre-market, early pre-market at 5:30 in the morning, and then did you put out an upgrade to green signal in the Discord alerts?
No, I just put out our targets.
Oh, you just put the targets. Okay.
Yeah, I just put the targets.
So like, yeah, I was like, when I was going through the live show this morning, I'm like, you know what? This looks like a green signal kind of day. but it's you got to be in the right places. It's this rotation is very hard. Look at Amazon is still going. Wow, why am I not chasing Amazon? Jeez Louise. Or at least Kodak is coming back. I established a big position in Kodak yesterday. I'm looking for a break of 1030 and then a swing target of 12 on Kodak based on their recent earnings report. And I guess I got to sell keys again. All right, I'm out of keys. Let's put the micro caps up here. IDN, Kodak. Did he get any IDN?
I did not know.
Oh, no. Am I imagining things? Isn't this a technical slam dunk to 350 on that news?
It looks like it, yeah, but this market's very strange to me.
What's that?
I said the market's just super strange to me.
Really?
So in the September 18th, 2026, Cerberus 260 calls 6.5 million below, just hit the tape there.
Cerberus has been such a volatile name, insane. This volatility is just off the hook, man. It is crazy. I'm not going to do anything with this, and I'm in the pre-IPO shares here from when it was private, and I didn't get my shares yet. I'm going to start getting them later in September. When I get them, I'm gonna sell covered calls on it probably to ease my way out of it. I just got an alert that Circle is up 10%. Wow, look at that. What's going on? Is this because of the Clarity Act or what's going on with that Clarity? And I don't know what's going on with Circle right now. NRGV up 5%. Whoa, what is going on? I'm getting all kinds of alerts. Is IWM pumping? Look at NRGV high day.
USO is dropping.
Well, hopefully that'll pull up my Oxy calls there.
Yeah.
What is going on?
You're gonna pull
Home Depot
164 to 148. Home Depot's having a great day.
Yeah. RTX, I'm in 225 calls. I already sold 20% of them yesterday, another 50% today. Have a few more left. I was really looking for like a beeline move towards 230 this morning, and it didn't happen. So I've been selling what I have left. All right, nice comeback and cut. Look at that Amazon, right?
Guess I should have. Oh wow! Jeez.
Look at that. Look at that. Target here is going to be about 265, like another dollar. Maybe 266.
I added calls to my watch list, and they're already up over 60%.
Are you serious? You mean when I called it out?
A little later after you called it out,
Are you serious?
I added today's 265s. I added them to my watch list at $48. They're now at 81.
Oh my gosh.
80.
Oh wait, they have calls expiring today on this?
Yeah, they expired today. That's why.
Yeah. Too bad I didn't play that.
Yeah, you did, Manny. A few other people. Someone's talking about MSTR.
Is crypto? You know, I don't
Wow,
know why.
look at MSTR today. MicroStrategy's having a day over the 50 now.
Bitcoin is soaring. Off the same news. Off the same news. Let's push. And Bitcoin looks great. Bitcoin looks like it's gonna push past 65 to 67,000. It's already past 65. What am I talking about? Bitcoin looks great. 67. Wow, 67 to 69,000 swing target. Dude, this is a risk on market.
Yeah, looks like Bitcoin's going to be breaking out here.
Look at Amazon. Oh my gosh. Should have done more Amazon. Oh, did I get back in Moderna? I did, didn't I? Totally forgot.
Wow.
I got back in at 154. Oops, I totally forgot to monitor this. Wow, went to 142 after I got in. Where did I get in? 154.
Google's going up there, finally trying to hit the 20. Google ripping as well.
Does that mean the Qs are ripping?
Yeah, Qs are flying.
Qs
Wow.
are ripping. Does that mean DRAM and MU are ripping too?
No.
They're not.
No, they're chopping around today.
Okay.
Looking at the charts. Maybe a DRAM, but MU's just choppy. DRAM, same exact chart, choppy. Wow, Bitcoin breaking over that key level right there.
Yeah.
Thanks for that call out. Who was that? I think it was Joe.
Let me look up MicroStrategy here. Wow, up 10%. Oh, breaking the 50 DMA too. Wow. Dude, these things are going to be up and to the right all day. I don't think it's too late to chase something. Oh my gosh. We have to add more exposure to something here. Some sort of risk asset. The Home Depot nail is kind of stalling on me. Well, nail's okay. Still up there near the highs. Wow. Do we chase Bitcoin names?
I'd like to add them on pullbacks, but I don't know if we're going to get pullbacks. I mean, look at that.
I mean, I still didn't get around to writing the blog. I really need to, about how the nature of the market's changed. And one of them is, wow, look at this. It's just everything goes straight up or straight down. I think because of social media and bots and everyone doing everything at the same time makes it, I mean, it gives you plenty of opportunity, but it's all like all the habits I've built up over 20 years, like it's not working right now in this market because of the extreme volatility, the big gaps ups, the big gap downs, the crazy ranges intraday, the fact that, you know, like a big move in a stock without news used to be 5%. Now a big move on a stock without news is 10 to 20%. You know, like these are all new behaviors that I haven't adapted to yet. You know, so it's hard for me to chase this stuff. I said it the other day, like we were looking at NBIS, and I'm like, normally, you know, when something's up 7-8% in pre-market on just a modest beat, like that's it. But I'm like, it'll probably be up 30% today because this is what the market's doing. And it was up 30% that day after earnings. It was just crazy, and I didn't chase it. And we were talking about it live. Remember that?
Yeah.
We're like, it'll probably be up 30% today, and it was up 30%, and I didn't play it just because I'm not yet accustomed to these dynamics. It's just crazy.
Now, you can try here coming up here again on the 5 minute. See if it can break above this
The
20.
Q's running. MicroStrategy and the Q's. My MBIS and Home Depot are lagging. I need some other risk asset class. Look at this big move in NRGV and Circle. Oh my gosh, Circle up and to the right. Cerebrus trying to turn. My gosh. Maybe I can sell puts on air today. Let's see. If we go out 30 days on air to, oh yeah, they're still good. 85 strike for $4.
Google getting rejected at that 20 right here.
That's like a 50% annualized yield. Hold on, I'm just trying to see on air. It may be a good time to start selling air puts again. That gets you in at $80. It's not bad. I'm gonna write that down. I may do that later today. Air sell $85 puts. I'll look at that later. Come on, Oxy. Look at MicroStrategy. Just no quit. Is that following? I gotta get Bitcoin into my main list here. Oh, look at Bitcoin. Oh yeah, it's just following Bitcoin. Got no room. I got no room. Gotta delete something. Any comments or questions in the stream there?
No, I'm just looking at I've been reading them as we go. Is he saying Netflix? Boom, full banger. Yeah, he nailed that one today, up and to the right, up over 4% now.
The hell am I
Yeah,
gonna
that
delete?
82 resistance.
I'm deleting PBA. All right, and we're gonna add Bitcoin. I want to add the nail ETF also. Gotta make room for that. Let's see. All right, MRNA curling back up. Come on, Kodak has got to do much better than this. Let's get to 1030. Come on. Keys has been a big disappointment today. Look at IWM. All right, let's do. Got to get IWM HD. I'm done with gold. I'm all out gold. I don't think I'm gonna have FOMO anymore. Hit our target. That was pretty neat.
All right, how'd you boys do?
Not bad. I
Doing
guess
okay. Just watching the crazy market over here.
Indeed. This has been a crazy day here today. Good stuff though. Can't wait to do it again.
Looking
Oh
forward.
yeah.
I just took another trade. Okay, awesome.
All right.
All right, guys.
All right. See you, Ryan. Take care.
Have yourself a good one. We'll catch you next week. Stay
All
green.
right. Take care.
Sounds
Bye.
good.
All right,
Have a
that
good
is
one.
Ben and Rhett, you have a good one. Also, really good stuff here all day. Really awesome Wednesday here. Don't forget, we still get the Fed meeting minutes today. So that's going to happen. Enjoy the drift. I'm going to send you there right now, and we'll see you tomorrow. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. Take care, everybody. Uh-oh.